WKCN Fort Worth, Columbus.
It's the only station we listen to.
You're listening to the Sportsvisions Morning Show, brought to you by Global Diagnostic Services and the Finley Firm. Here's DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer.
Good Thursday morning and welcome everybody to another edition of the Sportsvisions Morning Show. I am Walter and Betty Jones is baby boy, Daryl DJ Jones, Coach Larry Bush's grandson. We call him the Thrifter. Good morning, Thrift Behringer. How are you?
Great morning, DJ. Ready to rock and roll.
Boy, you look a hell of a lot better this morning. Goodness gracious, Your hair's flowing. You're looking like a movie star. Boy, yesterday you looked like Uncle Ned and the Three Stooges.
I was not feeling the best in here on my flu game.
But you played hurt. You played hurt. That's one thing I know about you. You played hurt, and of course you sucked it up. You didn't look worth a damn, but you were there. You were there, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, exactly right, DJ. Absolutely. And now we're better than ever today.
Absolutely. Richard Holdridge, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, Richard.
Good morning, DJ. Glad that we're closer to the weekend. A great 4th of July weekend. A lot of stuff to do around town.
It is a great day to be a great day. And again, congratulations to everybody who woke up this morning with us. Obviously, this is going to be a wonderful day. We got the 4th of July weekend all planned, and everybody's going to be doing their thing, whether they're going to the beach, whether you're going to be in the backyard, whether you're going to have the family over. I don't know what you're going to do, but you might just hit Broadway. You might go downtown and hang out. That's not a bad option as well. But the bottom line is everybody's going to be in a festive mood. Everybody's going to be relaxed, celebrating, and of course, with family, hopefully with family, and again, or with some loved ones.
Yeah, and this is the perfect time to get away and enjoy it. And by the way, if you got nothing else going on in the city, our good friend DJ Cashflow is doing the 706 day on Sunday, Woodbury Park, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. And by the way, the Campus Academy is going to have a vendor tent there.
All right.
I talked to Cashflow yesterday. Natalie also talked to him. And so Campus Academy will be one of the many vendors. 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Woodbury Park, free food. It's free entry, not free food, but vendor foods, all that type of stuff, concerts. Should be a lot of fun. Sunday, 706 day by DJ Cashflow.
You're going to keep us guessing as to what vendor, what product, what is it going to be food? Is it going to be arts and craft? Is it going to be cheap? What do you got going?
So for the Campus Academy,
yeah.
It would be basically just conversation. Hey, you want to come to the Campus Academy?
Yeah. Talk about the school. I got you. Okay. All right. Yeah. So
maybe some candy for the kids, entice them to come over there. Hey, we got goodie bags for the kids. And then we could talk to mom and dad about this could be their school.
I thought maybe Thrift was going to have on his Chef Boyardee cape and hat and was going to have some burgers and hot dogs on the grill. I didn't know.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be wearing my Campus Academy shirt and doing whatever I'm told to do.
Good stuff. Great to get the word around and obviously taking advantage of our marketing and promotion opportunities. That's what it's all about.
No doubt.
First of all, let me just say this. I'm sorry. Good morning, everybody out there. In Facebook land, I just got carried away with my guys here, but we appreciate you joining us this morning. I know that it is a festive morning. A lot of you don't or didn't go to work today. You're going to take the extended day, going to have to take advantage of the 4-day weekend starting today through the weekend with the 4th of July. And you know what? I don't blame you. Because, again, it's summertime, and a lot of you don't have an opportunity to take those extended vacations. But you know what? You did have an extra day or two so that you could, take today and go combine that with the holiday tomorrow and make the best of it. But however you're listening, we appreciate you. We don't take you for granted because we aim to educate, entertain, and, of course, inform you on the goings-on in the world of sports. And for all of our lovely friends out there in WLTC HD2, Sportsvisions 92.1 land, we love you, but it ain't a damn thing you can do about it.
Hello, somebody.
Guys, let's get this weekend kicked off right now. Hey, man, listen, got a great action-packed show for you. Again, we just want to one-up each other every day because, again, yesterday, Jarvis El-Amin was off the chain with the motivational speaking and, of course, talking about, his intentions and his purpose, his mission when he's emceeing or hosting or speaking. And he gave us some great tips that will take us into our lives as the broadcasters, as we call games, the energy, a lot of the inflictions and, not just being a talking head. You have to have emotion. People like to talk to people. People like to hear from people. And they want to be able to connect. And you know what? Jarvis gave us so many nuggets on how he's able to do what he's doing as one of the top most sought-after speakers in Tampa Bay area.
Yeah, and he was excellent yesterday and thoroughly enjoyed being able to talk to him, DJ.
And of course, today we have with us again. We're going to go back, only on Sports Visions morning show, especially in these parts. We can go behind the scenes of the SEC and their finances, because we got a guy that, you know what, he's not just a guy, he's a great friend to the show, a wonderful contributor over the years. But his name is Scott Williams, the former University of Georgia athlete. Let's put it that way, because Scotty, I was sharing with Thrift. Scotty was a guy that, he was 6'2", 235 pounds, 42-inch vertical, 4'4" in the 40. I mean, he was just so athletic. He was a freak of nature. He played tight end. He played some running back, fullback. They just didn't know where to play him. He just was so one of a freak of nature. But Scotty had a wonderful career. I'm part of the 1980 National Championship recruiting class. We came in together with Herschel and Terry Hogue and Freddie Gilbert, and I can go on and on and on. But he went on to play professional football with the St. Louis Cardinals and the Detroit Lions. But he is now the director of digital sales with the SEC Network. And, of course, the SEC Network is owned by the Walt Disney Company. And, again, one of the better jobs to have in America. Obviously, the SEC is the king in college football, king in a whole lot of other things. And Scotty is the guy that helps control the bag.
He is, and I've had the pleasure of getting to know him over the last couple of years, DJ, because of Sportsvisions, and he's fun, he's funny, and very enlightening. Can't wait to have him on. Been some time, but glad we get to have him back.
Absolutely, and again, hopefully we'll get an opportunity, some tips, because a lot of people don't really understand advertising and the sponsors and what that means to college football. When they hear all these great big numbers thrown around as far as, millions and billions of dollars that, are going and transferring back and forth. But, Scotty is the reason why, and his team is the reason why they're able to do as much as they are able to do. And of course, meaning the SEC Network, and have all this wonderful talent and all of these great shows, because they are the ones that go out and solicit all the sponsorships and bring it home, and they bring home the bacon.
Yep, they do, and they're the ones that make this all work. They're the big shebang.
All right, after Scotty, obviously we got another great guest. And again, this, like I said, this is more than just sports, guys. We go the extra mile, because we take you and give you opportunities for free. All you have to do is just tune us in and tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. But Terrence Woodbury will be with us today. He's a licensed, certified I won't say psychologist, but whatever that is, meaning in the mental health industry. He deals with a lot of athletes. He's a sports psychologist of sort. But we're going to talk about some of the things that are relevant today with our young people, so that our parents and our coaches understand that sometimes, you might need to look a little deeper. You need to peel back the layers a little bit more when you're dealing with these athletes, these young people, because, again, mental health is real, and we can go there. We go there, and there's no reason to be ashamed. And we can talk candidly to Terrence about that, Thrift, and because that's not our field. That's his field of human expertise. And of course, we can talk on behalf of the parents, on behalf of the coaches, and on behalf of the administrators who are in charge ultimately of all of these young people and these student athletes.
100%. But it set further with the mental health when you have situations, whether it be from a student athlete or someone in your life in general. How do you go about helping them? Okay, because first thing you do is definitely not go in their face about you need to get help, because that never works. So I can't wait to talk to Terrence, because there's always ways that you can help someone by helping themselves without throwing in their face that they need to go get help for their mental health.
Absolutely. And of course, we're going to check in with WRBL sports director, our good friend, Jack Patterson, who comes in and checks with us periodically on Tuesdays and Thursdays of each week. And always excited and always great to talk to Jack. And of course, we're going to check back in with, of course, the director of grounds with Synovus Park, Brendan Seaver. Now, we had him on, several weeks back, but you know what? It's a whole nother dynamic of operation with regards to taking care of those fields. The weather is dry, it's hot, the sun is burning. You know what? It takes a special person to be able to keep that field going all throughout the summer, because again, the field is just as green as it was at the start. So How do you do that with all of this, hot weather, with all of this, just humidity, and sometimes it's dry, but, Brendan will have an opportunity to explain that to us.
Yeah, you would think that it would dry out, make it the Sahara Desert, and it would fry the grass.
Yes.
So I can't wait to talk to Brendan Seaver, and hopefully he can help Richard with his lawn too.
Yeah, help all of us. Because again, other than just watering the lawn, and I think that's important. But you got some other things, and maybe he can give us some little tidbits, some little secrets on what we can throw down and kind of put out in the yard. Maybe
Make it look good.
Maybe we can put some flour out there and do something to it.
I think Natalie would love every second of me getting that information.
Yes, indeed. But yeah, just a packed show today, and in between time. It's still free agency is going on. A lot of things are still happening with the NBA, with them signing people, and it's crazy. But fact of the matter is that let's bring it a little closer to home. And again, when we talk about the Columbus Clingstones, they were able to get a double win yesterday. They played a doubleheader down in the Gump against the Biscuits, and were able to bring 2 home. Richard, you got to feel good that coming home for the 4th of July, after, of course, getting a couple of victories, and hopefully they'll get them on. They'll finish the Biscuits off today, but they'll be home on Friday for all the festivities for the 4th of July.
Yeah, a massive 4th of July weekend for the Clingstones at Synovus Park. I mean, it doesn't get any better than having a baseball game on July 4th where you get to see fireworks, and then going into the weekend, taking on the Montgomery Biscuits, that afternoon slate on Sunday. I cannot wait. We expect Synovus Park to be completely packed as it was opening night. But what a way to start this 6-game series against one of the top teams in the Southern League, the Montgomery Biscuits. And hopefully they go for the sweep tonight, and then they head back to Synovus Park for that 3-game series.
Guys, I know that the 4th of July falls on Friday, but man, I'm trying like hell to figure out a way to get down to the Synovus, because I got a feeling that we're going to probably see one of the biggest, best fireworks shows that, money can buy.
I think so too. And I'm wondering if that's maybe the place I'm going to be too on July 4th this Friday.
Absolutely. Hey, big shout out to Stanley Crowell. He's here, man. He's here early this morning. Rick Beach up in the county. He's up with us this morning. I hope, man, Rick, call in, man. We hadn't heard from you. Call your buddies, man. Let us know how you're doing. What's going on in the county? I know that I know it's summertime, and you've probably been down to the beach and doing all those great things. But always good to hear from you. Always good to see that you're joining on. But give us a call, man. We want to hear your voice. We want to hear what you got going on. I know that Thrift and Richard, they're stirring up the pot here, getting ready for some action-packed adult league basketball tonight. Richard, I know that you guys are excited. The Thrift's going to be with you.
Wow.
You guys are going to be, broadcasting tonight. I don't know if there's anything else going on.
Yeah, this is the one thing that's going on tonight on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. We've got the championship game between Money Calling and You Already Lost. And what a bold team name. I mean, you imagine having to play You Already Lost. It's like, oh, that kind of mess up with their psyche.
Right.
But
yeah. He ain't messing with my psyche because I'm coming after him.
So, love it. I love it.
I tell you right now, and I know all those guys. So shout out to Christopher Horton, Carl Ivy Jr., Zay. But knowing myself, if I was playing in that league and we were winning, I would tell them that name ain't gonna work for tonight. Woo! And I would let them know too.
Sparks fly.
I love it, and I can't wait to be there tonight. I'm definitely gonna be trash talking. I'm gonna let loose a little bit more, not the button up Big Rich, which is good, but for this, I want to be fun, and I know these guys got the personal touch, and Aunt Merritt's gonna be there because apparently he was on the mic PA and. So he'll be back. So I can't wait to have some fun tonight, 7:15.
I knew when you walked in the door with that pep in your step and you had your ankles taped, your hair was down. I knew that you were.
It's hoop time.
This is the Thrift Behringer we know and love. We didn't know that other guy.
Yeah, that other guy had the life sucked out of him that day.
I'm going to make a prediction. I think that you and I are going to be calling that first half, and I think you're going to be lacing it up, and they're going to probably let you play in that second half. I think that. Especially Money Calling only had 5 players that were playing. I mean,
listen, we talked about this yesterday. We know the Thrift, he's capable when he's been training, but we don't want anything to happen with all the Achilles being blown out now. And you can't get out there and move around like you used to.
And also everybody in the city that is a basketball fan is going to be there. I mean, Richard was telling me last Tuesday, a lot of kids like TJ Woodson, former athletes, high school kids, anybody that covers basketball. I even got a text from our guy, Corey Black, saying, hey, you going on Thursday? I want to come up there and hang out with you. I'm like, oh, so this is a real deal. We got Coach Black wanting to come watch this game. So can't wait tonight. Shirley B. Winston They got 3-point shooting contest, dunk contest, and the championship game.
All right, let's go ahead and take our first break of the day. The Braves have some folks that are back in the saddle after a disappointing start. We're going to talk about that, and we'll also talk more about our Columbus Clingstones and an enjoyable weekend coming up for the 4th of July. You're watching Facebook Live, and you're listening to WLTC HD2 Sports Visions 921. This is the Sports Visions Morning Show.
Baby, I'm not always there when you call, but I'm always on time, and I gave you.
You're listening to the Sports Visions Morning Show. Sports Visions 92.1.
Good morning. I'm Rex Castillo. Here's a look at your morning headlines. Panic unfolded at Savannah's Oglethorpe Mall as gunshots rang out near the Elevate store, sending shoppers scrambling for cover. 7 people were injured, including one victim that's in critical condition. Authorities are actively working to determine who opened fire and why. Meanwhile, in Columbus, a fire broke out at a vacant church on Veterans Parkway Wednesday night. Fire crews rescued one man from inside the building, and he's now recovering with non-life-threatening injuries. No firefighters were hurt during the incident. Staying in Georgia, the Plains Post Office now bears the names of the 39th President of the United States, Jimmy Carter, and his wife, Rosalind. In a special ceremony on Wednesday, the late president and first lady were honored in their Georgia hometown. Chip, the Carter's oldest son, spoke at the ceremony.
But I think they were excited over the years that Dad kept running mail through here, and it kept the post office alive and going when others were closing in the area. It's a great honor to have their name on that building.
From WRBL News 3, I'm Rex Castillo. Have a great Thursday, everybody.
Good Thursday morning. We were off to a clearer start to the day with those temperatures still hovering close to those seasonal averages in the low 70s. Expect more sunshine across the region this afternoon as those temperatures climb into the mid 90s, but it will feel more like the upper 90s when you factor in that humidity. Remaining dry and warm for the 4th of July with temperatures in the mid 90s. That rainfall doesn't really come back into the forecast until the second half of the weekend.
Attorney advertising, Georgia. Attorney 770, good law car accident lawyers. Paid after dramatization. Top dog does not mean we are the best. No guarantees of success.
The other day, I seen this dog attack this guy. It was so bad, the dog kept biting him. People was trying to get the dog off the person, but the dog wouldn't let go. Then out of nowhere, this guy comes up and yells, "Top dog!" Dog stopped. He walked away. It was crazy. Know what people were saying? That's the dog. That's Top Dog. Know what I was saying? I was asking, why was he biting him like that? What happened? Then I got the backstory. He just hit somebody down the street, got out his car and started running. Out of nowhere, this dog came running after him, caught him, and started biting him. And it was Top Dog. Couldn't believe it. He was fast. I couldn't believe it. He was big. I couldn't believe it. Any accident, you gotta believe it. Top Dog Law.
Hey, this is Lisa Stofan. Heard the Mark Patrick weight loss hypnosis hype? Well, I attended because my father stopped smoking with hypnosis. Hypnosis eliminated my desire for soda and fast food, made me want to exercise, and I lost 60 pounds in 6 months. My energy level exploded. I went to another session to deal with some other problem foods, and I lost another 10 pounds. In fact, I brought my husband. He lost weight. More important, cholesterol and blood pressure improved. My friend went and she lost 20 pounds in the first 2 months. So does Mark Patrick hypnosis work? Oh yeah, it works. Nothing has changed my life more. Well, except maybe my husband. He's so proud of me. Makes me cry.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. What are you waiting for? Join Mark Patrick's seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed. Early bird special only $49.99. That's right. Weight loss seminar Wednesday, July 23rd at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites at North Lake in Columbus at 5:30 p.m. Registration starts at 5 p.m. Stop smoking seminars at 8 p.m. with registration at 7:30 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time on a fancy water bottle with ultra titanium alloy metal. You're not sure why you need all that. I mean, it just holds water. But you're getting it anyway. Because if you're hiking near an active volcano and you accidentally drop the bottle into molten lava, your water will still be icy cold. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time for water bottles. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Minor League Baseball is back in Columbus. Catch Clingstones Baseball every night on Sportsvisions 92.1. Your home for the Sportsvisions Morning Show with DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer, the Dan Patrick Show, The Herd with Colin Cowherd, and the Paul Feinbaum Show. Your home for Falcons football. Sportsvisions 92.1. Now back to the Sportsvisions Morning Show. Here's Chattahoochee Valley Sports Hall of Famer DJ Jones and Thrift Barringer.
Welcome back to the Sports Visions Morning Show. DJ Jones, Thrift Barringer, and Richard Holdridge holding it down. Great Thursday morning, and welcome, everybody. We appreciate you tuning in here. I tell you what, man, we called on Rick Beach, and guess what? We're going to bring him to you right now. Rick Beach, good morning. How are you, man? Congratulations on the East Alabama Motor Speedway gig.
Hey, appreciate it, DJ. How are y'all this morning?
Really good, man, really good. Just wanted to check in with you, man. Obviously, your stock is rising, your Q rating is going up with a lot of force, man. And just wanted to be able to say we're glad we knew you when you were, weren't so popular. But now we got to call your agent and talk to your agent to get you on shows and whatnot now. But we're proud of you, brother.
Hey, I appreciate that, man. It means a lot to me.
Hey, your buddy over in Auburn, man. The young lady that just takes good care of us. Did she retire? Is that the word?
Oh, yeah, Kurt's handling it now. So, Miss Poe, old Shelly Poe stepped down. Finally, she earned that one. She's been probably as good as gold over there and as good as anybody I've met in the sports world. And I'm on sure miss her over there at Auburn.
Absolutely. She sure put you on the map, boy. She put you in the game. Back in the day, I know a lot of people might not know that story, but during COVID, I would tell it real quick. Not a lot of people, I guess, were coming around, but you take over from there.
Yeah, and I guess a lot of riders didn't want to go over to Auburn or go to events altogether. And so Shelly would just say, hey, if you show up, we'll pay it back. You'll be top of the list once all this stuff is over. And I kind of halfway bought it and said, what the hell, went ahead and went for it and started going to some games. And then the next season, it was on like anything else. I got every time I put in for a home game, I got to see, and of course, Iron Bowls, Georgia games, the Penn State game, all the big sellouts over there and the big atmospheres. I was able to get to go to, and a lot of it all goes back to 2020 and just showing up when nobody else wanted to.
Absolutely. I saw it firsthand, and I know that, the media in the press box, they got the media food in all the areas. Man, you had the VIP treatment. You got to go into the other suite where the other good food was. We got the little cold barbecue sandwiches, but you got all the nice hot stuff. But, yeah, we're proud of you, man. But that's what, I want you to tell that story because a lot of people think that you get in this business and, it's automatic. No, you put in work. You got to separate yourself. You went the extra yard. You did exactly what she asked you to do. And guess what? It paid off for you now. You don't have any issues over there. You're a rock star at Auburn in the press box. And when it comes time to call in, or at least covering games in the football season, you put in the work, and we appreciate it.
Yeah, one day you're eating cold chicken sandwiches at Auburn. Next thing you know, you're eating hamburgers at East Alabama Motor Speedway.
By the way, for those that are listening, I like to call Rick rectify. If you know what rectify means, it's always, fixing a mistake. And rectify does that for Georgia Alabama Sports Live. He sees one, he comes after it. Rectify. How about East Alabama Motor Speedway? Talk about this opportunity, man. Saturday, going to be a lot of fun. It's your first time being now for the rest of the season, the voice of East Alabama Motor Speedway for the 2025 season. How excited are you about that and kind of lay the foundation of what you got to do, man?
Yeah, it's going to be a full show this Saturday night that was including the fireworks. So they have the Crown Vics. That's kind of a newer thing going on at East Alabama in the last few years. Kind of got popular with some YouTubers with the Crown Vics, but now East Alabama has them. They'll be out this weekend. You have the late models. You have all kind of racing going on that you're used to seeing, but this week be a little different. I'll be on the mic up there this weekend. They should have a new playlist as well. I heard them talking about some new music, so it's a lot of work's been going on at East Alabama over the last year, improving the cosmetics of the speedway and stuff like that, and cleaning it up a good bit. And it looks great. It looks like a brand new facility when you pull up, and it definitely don't look like it did 15, 20 years ago.
Rick, congratulations again. And we've known each other for a while now. When I first saw you, you were umpiring the Harris County Little League 3 years ago. And when you think of Harris County athletics, you think of Rick Beach, Kudzu Sports. Where did this start? Just take it back to, obviously you live in Harris County. There's a lot of passionate fans. It's really a lost gem because it does have that small town feel because it is outside of the Columbus city limits. But just take us back to how Kudzu Sports got started and where this love for Harris County athletics began.
Well, yeah, I mean, you mentioned the umpiring, also coached up there, and supporting youth sports is a big deal. I think more people should get into that, supporting the kids at an early age, little league age, and whatever the sport is, whether it be baseball, which is big in Harris County, and obviously in Columbus with Northern Little League and American Little League and Pioneer, but, other sports as well with football and basketball, and these kids just need the support. And a lot of times officials is what they're lacking, officials that, actually care about what they're doing and care about the kids so you can help out that way. And, I saw the opening. I've umpired up at Harris County for probably 20-something years, for my late teens. But now I've been umpiring right up there in Harris County. So it's been around. Last year or this season, I only got to do one game. But when you get around the kids for that long, you're obviously going to see them from Little League, middle school, now that middle school has a baseball, and then high school. So, I mean, it's just a natural progression to just kind of follow them that way. And, you want to cover them, because nobody else is really covering Harris County over, especially 5-6 years ago when Kudzu started. But it just, giving these kids a platform to be on and just show them off to the rest of the area and hopefully to the state.
Rick Beecher, who is, of course, definitely a contributor to the Sportsvisions Morning Show. Also, again, assistant head of state with Georgia, Alabama Sports Live. Rick, before you go, why don't you tell us again your plans? What have you taken a vacation yet, or do you have plans this summer?
No, we don't get to take vacation. Thrift don't let me take a vacation, so I don't have no vacation going on this summer. It's work, getting ready for football season.
All right, man. Listen, before you go out there, why don't you let everybody know again where they can find you on social media, and especially those folks out in the county, they already know, but the folks everywhere else, all over the country, man, let them know how they can find you on social media and where they can find you wherever you are.
Yeah, just get on all social media platforms at Kudzu Sports, and that'll take you right to all the stuff Harris County athletics going on, which, sports nowadays, it ain't like it used to be with sports. Y'all know that. Summertime is just more practice other than this week, the only dead period over the summer. So, it's just always something. There's always news. There's always something going on with sports. So just at Kudzu Sports on all social media, and you'll find everything county.
All right, Rick, we appreciate you, big guy.
All right, DJ, appreciate you.
Take care now. All righty.
All right, see ya.
Yes, sir. All right, that's Rick Beach. That's your go-to guy. Thrift, that's your guy. That's your sergeant in arms.
I appreciate Big Rick. He's done a great job and being a big part of what we do here at Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
All right, Richard, let's go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we talk to Scotty Williams with the SEC Network. You're watching Facebook Live and you're listening to WLTC HD2, Sportsvisions 921. We are your hometown sports guys.
Still doing that, Andre? Oh, for sure. Yeah. Check me out.
Hey, it's Dan Patrick. Thanks for waking up with the Sportsvisions Morning Show with DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer. Catch me at 9 a.m. every weekday morning, right here on Sportsvisions 92.1.
Do you have a car sitting around you want to get rid of? Then here's a great idea. Donate your car and help veterans and their families. Yes, one fast call to the Veteran Car Donation Program and we'll come and remove your car for free. Fast, free towing, and 24-hour response. You can donate most cars, trucks, or SUVs in most conditions. The proceeds raised goes to help active military, veterans, and their families, and you get a tax deduction. All you need to do is make this free call. Get rid of that old car and help the vets. We make it easy. Make this free call now and book your fast and easy pickup. Call the Veteran Donation Program now. Donate your car and help veterans and their families. Operators are standing by. Here's the number.
800-890-7021. 800-890-7021. 800-890-7021. That's 800-890-7021.
You know you don't have to wear your PT gear anymore, right?
It's comfortable.
So how's civilian life treating you?
It's fine.
When I got out, I didn't want to admit that there was anything wrong because it felt like a failure. And then I realized, there's nothing to be ashamed of. So I started talking to someone. Maybe you are fine. But if you're not, it's okay.
Thank you.
If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
How serious is youth vaping? Irreversible lung damage serious. 1 in 10 kids vape serious, which warrants a serious conversation from a serious parental figure like yourself. Not the seriously know-it-all sports dad or the seriously smart podcaster. It requires a serious conversation that is best had by you. No, seriously, the best person to talk to your child about vaping is you. To start the conversation, visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
What would you give for a child you loved? To make their wish come true? To help them fight a critical illness? Just imagine what you'd do. You see, wishes are so powerful, and you can make them real. They can give a child back their childhood, even change the way they feel. Every single one of us can make the stars align. Because when we come together, hope and joy will shine. Wishes need stars like you. Visit Make-A-Wish@wish.org.
This message is brought to you by the Armed Forces Vacation Club, a free membership travel hub for active duty military and veterans. The club provides a well-deserved escape during challenging times or post-deployments, or for cherished family moments. This exclusive travel club grants access to discounted 7-night resorts and savings on over 600,000 hotels, rental cars, and more. Discover the world for free at afbclub.com.
I love playing sports, especially for my school. And that's because school sports are special. It's where it's safe to fail. It's where we're taught resilience, where our fear becomes confidence. It's where we learn to get back up after every fall. School sports are where 7.8 million students go from I can't to I can.
This message presented by the AHSAA and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
At the YMCA, finding your why starts by making an impact together, touching lives for the better. It can be the gift of time or treasure, supporting a community through talent without measure. Here, compassion fuels commitment, finding fulfillment through enrichment, serving and improving. What a way to live, and what a gift it is to give. Find your why and get involved today at ymca.org for a better us.
In Iraq, our truck hit a roadside bomb. I had about 16 surgeries on my hand so that I could regain function. And when I came home, I needed a new roof due to a storm. And I was about to lose homeowners insurance as well. I applied for Operation Homefront Critical Financial Assistance Program. And it's good to know that when we come home, there are people who are there that care about us. Operation Homefront, they've really been a blessing.
Visit operationhomefront.org to learn more.
Hey, it's Dan Patrick. Thanks for waking up with the Sports Visions morning show. Let's get back to DJ and Thrift on Sports Visions 92.1.
Welcome back to the Sports Visions morning show. DJ Jones, Thrift Barringer, and Richard Holdridge in the building. Great Thursday morning. It's Throwback Thursday here on the Sports Visions morning show. And I tell you, we're excited that we are once again able to get back to our series. Of course, having an opportunity to check in with the money bag of the SEC network. He's our good friend, of course, and frat brother from the University of Georgia. His name is Scotty Williams. What's up, my man? Good morning.
DJ Jones, what's going on? TB, what's happening, man?
What up,
Richie
Scotty?
Rich? What you doing, Richie Rich?
What's going on?
Hey, man, you looking good. Hey, you look like you pulled up at a golf course, man. Is that your go-to?
So actually, I'm pulled up at Planet Fitness parking lot first because I got to get the workout. Got to get the workout in first, and then get over to Eagles Landing Country Club after I eat a little breakfast. But you know, I got a tea time. I have a tea time, my brother.
Absolutely. Hey, man, we're so excited that you're back with us again. You know, for a long, long time, you kept us informed and you took us backstage with regards to the business and the handling of the SEC network and the finances and all the advertising and how that worked, that dynamic. Because, you know, otherwise we wouldn't have been able to get that kind of knowledge and those nuggets to the Sports Visions Nation, man. But we appreciate you after your extended leave of absence to come back on and to share with us, man.
Man, I'm glad you guys having me, man. You guys do a great job bringing information, news, sports, and information to the Columbus metro area, man, and I'm just happy to be a part of it, man. They put me on pause for a little while, but they took the finger and they let me off. Now I'm back in action.
Absolutely, and we're happy. Right off the bat, Scotty, obviously I made an introduction and teased obviously you coming on as you're the director of digital sales for the SEC network. Can you go ahead and elaborate and let us know exactly, bring it on down too, because again, some of us, that's over our pay grade and we don't understand.
So I guess officially I'm the senior director of multimedia sales for the SEC network. And basically what that is if you think about all of the communication medias that we have out in the marketplace today, ranging from linear TV to digital to addressable, social media, activation. So I head a group and we go out and we negotiate official sponsorships for the Southeastern Conference. We represent them in the marketplace as well as ESPN. There's a co-relationship there that we share revenue. ESPN runs everything, but then we split the revenue at the end of the day. And so me and my team, we go out and we negotiate intellectual property, the rights for, let's say, for Allstate or Mercedes-Benz or Regions Bank or Johnsonville Sausage or Farm Rich, and we have 15 for them to use the intellectual property, the marks, the rights to be able to take that, put it on their packaging, put it on whatever they need to, of course, with approval, and take it to the marketplace, take it to consumers so that they could then increase their ability to be able to move their product to consumers, right? Sell more Mercedes-Benz, sell more sausages, sell more frozen snacks. And so we help them do that and execute that in the marketplace strategically. And man, we do such a great job on the SEC side that we're sold out, man, and they won't give us more. Can you believe that? We've done such a good job that they said, no, you're at your max. And we're like, if you give us 15 more, we could sell 15 more. And they're like, no. And you would think that they want that money because we're not selling them cheaply at all. They're not cheap at all.
Yeah.
Not cheap at all. But they said, no, we want bluer and fewer. What that means, they want blue chip and they want a small amount of blue chip. Previously, prior to me getting involved in 2014, they had probably 20 or 30 or 40 at one point. And they said, no, we don't want to do this time. We're going to take the rate up considerably. We're going to make it, we're going to find the friction point of the value proposition between what we bring in terms of the assets, the total assets, and we're going to take it to the marketplace and we're going to sell it for a fair rate. And we're not going to do it for 15 plus. We're going to do it for 15 exactly. And that's what we've done, man. And so now a little bit other information, the fight that I'm fighting, I can't bring in any more official sponsors, but Disney said, no, we're going to give you a 17% increase anyway.
Scotty Williams is this morning on the Sportsvisions morning show. And for the, you threw in Walt Disney, but for the understanding of the folks that are listening out there, and again, half of this, the information that you gave us just here just previously, all the CEOs, man, they're just snipping at the nip, man. They love it. But most of us guys that went to other schools like Carver and Glenwood, and we don't know what the hell you're talking about. But when you talk about Walt Disney in the big picture, obviously, can you explain that to how that relates to the SEC network and all that good stuff?
Yeah. So if you think about it, if you go back years, the previous commissioner had an idea and he thought about launching a network connected with Disney ESPN. So Disney is the parent company to ESPN. and came to them and said, hey, look, got an idea of this network, and I think it'll be tremendous. One thing that I want to do is try to spread it further to the west, increase our conference by 2 schools, take in Texas A&M, take in Missouri, because he knew that distribution rights was the key. Distribution rights meaning how many households the content is shown in. So, for example, in 2014, we launched a network with over 90 million households. And Richie Rich, since I'm talking to TB and DJ, do some quick math for the fans here. So if we're making $4.50 per household per month times 90 million, how much money is that?
$360 million, a little over $360 million, man.
I'm still doing the math in his head.
So that's what we launched the network with, making that kind of money per month. And so Disney is the parent company for ESPN, as I mentioned. And so we work in conjunction with the Southeastern Conference to take the rights, all of their rights, and go to the marketplace. In a smaller scale, think about how Learfield and some of those other folks might take the University of Georgia's intellectual property, their marks, their rights, their logos, the ability to activate in the marketplace, and take that out and sell it. So they may give the University of Georgia $25 million. They take those rights, they take it out to the marketplace, and they sell it for $35 million. So they make $10 million off of it. Well, we take the rights to the conference and we take it to the marketplace. But instead of us writing them a check and then we keep the amount between the gap between what we sell it for, no, we sell it and then we back out production and what it takes to run the network, and then we split the profits. And that is still pretty substantial, because once we get our half, the conference then takes their half, they divide it by the number of schools, and then they send that money out. And rumor has it, not what I'm saying, rumor has it that number is somewhere between $90 and $110 million per year per school. That's just what the rumor is. Okay. I'm not the messenger on that. Yeah. So it's a pretty valuable proposition for both sides. And Disney, in addition to what I'm saying, year before last, engaged in negotiations with the conference for a second portion of this tremendous relationship that we have. When I mean second portion, I mean CBS used to have the 3:30 football game that they would air, and they had the first pick of matchups in the Southeastern Conference. Well, we entered into a pretty stiff negotiation with, they call it FANG, Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, Google. Wow. New little term there, FANG. We entered in negotiations with them. CBS. Once again, these are some numbers that I heard. Once again, CBS was paying about $50 million a year for that game. When it went to the open market, the FANG group started the process at $100 million. They doubled the offer. Disney sat back and said, okay, cool. All right. Are y'all done? They said, no, we want to raise it to 200. What's that? Disney said, well, are you done yet? They said, no, we think 300 might bring it to the table. Disney said, let me know when y'all finish playing. So it's north of that. From what I heard, Disney swooped in, said, quit playing, it's ours. Let's do the deal. So now Disney has the 3:30 football game. We use it to put it on ABC. So it's no longer on CBS. We put it on ABC. The pecking order moved SEC Network up a peg or two because we now have first pick. We, meaning Disney, has first pick for that game. So it typically goes over to ABC. It moves SEC Network up in the pecking order. Since we included Texas and Oklahoma to the conference, it made more games valuable. So it kind of makes it a perfect situation for us, because it almost makes sure that the SEC Network gets a great matchup. And as you know, matchups drives ratings. Ratings drives dollars, and we all win.
Scotty, I can't wait to see you in a couple of weeks at SEC Media Days, man. It's always a pleasure being able to talk to you. But I got to ask, we add Texas and Oklahoma. You know, Texas had Longhorn Network, okay? So with them coming in with Longhorn, is that competition with the SEC? Is Longhorn Network not even used anymore because of the SEC Network? What happened with that once Texas came to the SEC?
Once they came to the SEC, we determined that we needed to sunset the Longhorn Network. So it will no longer exist, or it no longer exists now.
Right.
And we brought them into the fold. And because of the financial success of the network, Texas was like, we're going to get what? Okay. Oh, okay. We can flip the switch on the Longhorn Network now. We're good. We'll take our share. And we'll be good. And so everybody came to an agreement. We sunsetted the Texas Longhorn Network. Me and my team moved in and talked to a lot of the administrators on that side, a lot of the staff that was responsible for selling it. And we were able to bring on quite a few of those advertisers to the SEC Network. What's interesting is that Texas is such a powerful brand, is that some of their local media folks still wanted to advertise with us being a national network focusing on that Austin area in the local market. That's how powerful their brand is. And so we still have some of those folks partnering with us.
Scott, I do want to talk about the SEC Network. When it launched in 2014, it was obviously a game changer. When you have every team has an opportunity to be televised on any of the platforms, how big was that to, if you're a Georgia fan, just getting to watch every single game and also getting to see the highlights of, if you're a Georgia fan or if you're an Auburn fan, you want to see the highlights from all the other SEC schools. How big was it to have the post-game show, the pre-game show, all surrounded by the SEC?
Richie Rich, you have no idea, my friend, how big it was. What it really did was it allowed for not only the mainstream hardcore fans to see Georgia play football, but it allowed the volleyball moms and dad to be able to go on SEC Network Plus and see the streaming content of their kids playing a volleyball game, which highly likely would have never made it to the main network at the rate that football does. Yeah, you know, football is the driver. We know, yes, indeed. But there are 21, 25, 26, whatever the number is of other auxiliary Olympic sports that are being played, and they get a chance to get televised. One of the great things that we did when we brought all of the rights together, because the rights were separated somewhat in the marketplace, and we brought it all together. We waited until some of those contracts expired so that we could bring it all together so that ESPN would be able to negotiate for the entire portfolio. And so what we required from all of the schools is to run fiber optics from their schools to our studios in Charlotte. So we've got high level pipeline to be able to put content on. And then another piece that we learned during the pandemic was that we needed the ability for schools to start producing their games, their matches. And they started doing that at a high level. And so now we've got a pipeline from all of the schools into the headquarters, the studios at Charlotte. We have hit setups at their universities where we can have transmission and make it real easy. And we can go to the marketplace at a drop of a dime when we need to from those schools and bring content to the fans in a way that nobody was able to do prior to that. And so it's been a blessing for me, man. I had my eyes on it way before it ever launched, started to try to make some moves to secure it. Ran into a few issues, but man, ultimately in the final analysis, I was a part of the launch team, to head the network in the way that I do. And it has been an absolutely incredible ride.
Well, Scotty, I tell you what, man, we are absolutely fantastic, over the moon with all the knowledge and all the information that you're able to share with us. But as you so eloquently do, I'd like you to take an opportunity, and again, in the next few minutes, to talk to our local business community, the moms and pops, and some of the, of course, the big corporations to hear, to share with them the importance of having a platform like this to advertise on and to participate with, as we have here at Sports Visions 92.1. More importantly, the Sports Visions morning show.
Yeah, man, and it actually kind of connects a little bit with what I was talking about, the Texas brand. So the Sports Vision brand has been in the marketplace for, I imagine, 25 to 30 years. And you guys have done a tremendous job in the community and in the metro area. And what advertisers want to do is that they want to connect with people and brands that bring passion, that make people make buying decisions, that then go connect and buy and consume their products, right? You guys have been a trusted partner in the marketplace for so many years that people and CEOs can take their brands and understand that you're going to treat it right, that you're going to nurture it, that you're going to take it to the marketplace, and you're going to take it to the fans that listen to this program and beyond, and then tell them to consume their product. There's no better way than doing it than to connecting with you and Sports Vision and your team to take it to the marketplace, use the intellectual property, use the brands, use lock-up logos where you use their logo with yours, take it and put it in the packaging and take it to the marketplace and have people recognize it because they've been listening to your product. They've been going to your banquets. They see how you treat the community and the young people, how you love them, how you give them their flowers and trophies while they're still young, so that they buy in at a young age, so that they'll continue to listen and connect with you as well as the people that support you. And that's an important piece of this entire puzzle. When you connect with people at a young age and get them to start consuming your product because they trust in the person that's delivering it to them, being you, Sports Vision, they can stay with your product for life and transition out of the young products into the older demo products and then stay and consume for years upon years. That's what the community should be doing. They should be blowing your phone up, telling you that they want to be a part of the brilliance that you're bringing to the metro area so that they can get in line and start to benefit from consumers consuming their product at a rate that's better than anything else in the area.
Outstanding. I appreciate that, Scotty. But here, lastly, of course, Ground Zero is coming up. What should we expect from the SEC network?
Man, I tell you what, man, we're gonna, as we usually do, we take it to the nation, we take it to the world, and we say, let's start the clock. It's getting ready to be football time in the conference. And so we're going to have all of the coaches there. We've got it all lined up. We've got the schedule laid out when teams will come and present. They're going to introduce you to some new stars that you may have not heard before. But when Saturday football kicks off, these guys will be front and centers. These are some young men that are leaders of men, leaders of football teams, guys that are tough as nails, and guys that are ready to go play football on Saturday afternoon. And I can't wait, man. It's an important time for us. We have a lot of activation going on. We have official sponsors there at Ground Zero at the College Football Hall of Fame and Omni area. We're going to have plenty of things for fans to do. And we've done a better job over the years of making it more of a fan-facing event as opposed to just a strictly media event. And that's why we've begun to move it around to different locations so that fans can access it and touch it and be a part of media days in the Southeastern Conference.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the pride and joy of Mecklenburg County, my friend.
Yes, sir.
Scotty Williams, man. Hey, man, thank you so much. We look forward to talking to you real soon.
Love you, Scotty.
See you, Scott.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
All right. That's the man. Boy, I tell you what, man, my head is spinning right now because he gave me some much knowledge and more.
I can't wait to see him in a week or so.
Exciting.
Hey, he's off the chain. All right, let's go ahead and take a break. You're watching Facebook Live and you're listening to WLTC HD2, Sports Visions 921. This is the Sports Visions Morning Show.
Fluid, mommy, don't worry, I won't abuse it. Hurry up and finish so you can watch Clueless. I laugh at these when they ask who do this, but everybody know who will.
If it's local, it's on the Sports Visions Morning Show with former Georgia Bulldog DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer.
Hi, it's Steve Mann. Have you heard the commercials for the Mark Patrick Stop Smoking seminars? And they said only $49.99 and it could work for you. So I thought, that's not even a week's worth of smoking. So I went, and guess what? It did work for me. You know, my friends and family are still amazed. I quit smoking. I didn't have cravings, anxiety, or weight gain. Listen, I don't know how it works, but I know it works because I'm living proof, and it's 100% guaranteed. So what do you got to lose? I'll tell you what you got to lose. A very bad habit.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and stop smoking now. Without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Early bird special only $49.99 guaranteed. Hypnosis designed to work without anxiety, irritability, or weight gain. Early bird special only $49.99. Become a non-smoker. That's right. Seminar Wednesday, July 23rd at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites at Northlake in Columbus. Stop smoking seminars at 8 p.m. Weight loss seminars at 5:30 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
Lori's Furniture Express, your express way to save.
There's a special deal going on at Gorey's Furniture Express. This 4th of July, Gorey's is celebrating Independence Day by paying the taxes on any purchase you make inside the store. Any purchase, any amount. Check out their great selection of furniture in stock and ready for you, and that's only at Gorey's Furniture. Happy 4th of July from Gorey's Furniture, Alabama Highway 169 in Opelika.
Hi, Zoe Saldana. Welcome to T-Mobile. Here's your new iPhone 16 Pro on us.
Thanks. And here's my old phone to trade in.
You don't need a trade-in. When you switch to T-Mobile, we'll give you a new iPhone 16 Pro. Plus, we'll help you pay off your old phone up to $800, and you still get to keep it.
There's always a trade-in.
Not right now at T-Mobile.
I feel like I have to give you something in return for karma.
That's okay.
I don't really have much in my purse. Oh, let's see. Hand sanitizer. It's lavender.
I'm good. Seriously.
Let me check this pocket. Oh, mints?
Really, I'm fine.
Oh, I have raisins. I'm a mom. Wait 1 sec. I've got cupcakes in the car.
It's our best iPhone offer ever. Switch to T-Mobile. Get a new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us. No trade-in needed. We'll even pay off your phone up to $800.
With 24 monthly bill credits, new line, $100 plus a month on experience beyond finance agreement, $999.99 and qualifying ported. For well qualified plus tax and $10 connection charge. Pay off via virtual prepaid card below 15 days. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. See T-Mobile.com.
If your family's summer style needs a little pick-me-up, you've got to go to Kohl's. They have everything from polos and cute dresses to comfy kids outfits and Sephora essentials, plus more. Not to mention, you can get 20% off some of your faves and earn Kohl's cash. Yup, summer's already looking more stylish, all thanks to Kohl's. Select styles. Offer ends July 6th. Some exclusions apply. Coupons and Kohl's cash do not apply to Sephora. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
This message is from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. VA sends a weekly email to over 13 million veterans that's jam-packed with amazing resources. Subscribe for free at va.gov/vet-resources.
Operation Homefront, it opened up so many possibilities. It took us from a hopeless situation. Now we're homeowners. We have a savings account. It's completely changed the way our life is. Our household is so much happier.
Visit OperationHomefront.org to learn more.
Working safely around underground utilities could put you at risk for outages, injury, and loss of life. Don't risk it. Alabama 811 plays a vital role in taking the request to have underground utilities marked. It's free, it's simple, it's the law. Visit al811.com for more info.
Every day, 12 children die from sepsis.
more than from cancer. Most people don't know the word sepsis or the symptoms. Protect yourself and your loved ones. To learn more about the symptoms, go to sepsis.org.
WLTC HD2 Casita and W221DP Columbus. You're listening to the Sports Visions Morning Show. Sports Visions 92.1. Now back to the Sports Visions Morning Show. Here's Denver Broncos 1987 AFC champion DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer.
Welcome back to the Sports Visions Morning Show. DJ Jones, Thrift Behringer, and Richard Holdridge. And man, oh man, he blew it out of the water. He hit it out of the park. Scott Williams, who, of course, is the director of digital and, of course, advertising sales for the SEC Network. My former teammate, of course, my former classmate and my fraternity brother, man, I tell you, he brought the heat. And, of course, he took us where only the Sports Visions Morning Show can take you, and that's behind the scenes. And we are so grateful that Scotty was able to come in and just dazzle us with all of the numbers, all of the great sponsorships that he's able to put together on behalf of the SEC Network. He and his team, they generate the revenue, and they create the big bucks. Like I said, he's the bag man. He's the bag man. He's the money man for the SEC Network, and we are so proud and privileged to have him and share him with the Sports Vision Nation. Hey, it doesn't stop there, Thrift. It keeps going. Now, of course, our next guest, who is just a hell of a guy and a guy that I've spent some quality time with. He's like my little brother. And, of course, I'm getting just a little bit of feedback. But I want to bring to you and introduce to you first and foremost Terrence Woodbury. He is a professional speaker and licensed master social worker. The fact of the matter, he specializes in mental health therapy and military social work. He holds a master's of social work degree from the University of Southern California and a master's of social science and public administration degree from Florida A&M University. He also holds a bachelor's degree in mass communications and a minor in broadcast journalism from Voorhees University. As the CEO of his consulting firm, T. Wood and Associates, LLC, he has a stellar record of service with government and corporate organizations. The mission of T. Wood and Associates, LLC, is to inform, encourage, and inspire people to triumph over life's challenges. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Sports Visions Morning Show, my guy, T. Wood. Good morning.
Hey, raise the roof. Thank y'all for having me. How y'all doing?
We're good, man. We're good. Just a little feedback there, but we're going to make it through this. Man, thank you for coming on board with us. And, obviously, T. Wood, we've had from the experiences and the time that we've spent together, we both have a compassion for people, young people in particularly, and to take it a step further, young student athletes. We have definitely spent time on the air. We spent time in meetings, and this is what you do. You're a social worker, and of course you specialize in the mental health stages, and we just want to bring that to this platform to talk to the parents, to talk to the coaches, to talk to the student athletes, to talk to the administrators about something that's not not very comfortable to talk about, but we're going to make it comfortable this morning.
Yes, it's a very big deal, and I'm glad you brought that up. One thing I must highlight is that people tend to they don't recognize that mental wellness is just as important as physical fitness for young athletes. When we take care of our minds, we're setting the stage for success on and off the field. Now, as a therapist, I help student athletes understand that emotional strength, focus, and clarity are performance tools. Just like weights, drills, game film, NIL money has brought new pressure, all right? And without mental preparation, talent alone isn't enough. Emotional discipline is a part of the training.
Terrence, when did you start focusing on that aspect of the business? I mean, there's a lot of ground to cover, but obviously specifically with these young people, when did you really become interested in shining a light on that particular part of it?
You know what? Well, me myself, I'm a former student athlete myself. I actually played in Division II, and I remember the rigors and the things that I had to go through in my upbringing. During my upbringing, and let's say in high school, I remember seeing the emotional silence and the things that my loved ones were going through. I remember seeing it's the things that were not said that had such a negative impact on people that I cared about, right? And so this thing became a more of a generational thing. Like, okay, it's like an unsaid thing. We'll go and we'll play sports and we'll do things, but we won't address the mental and emotional side and the aspect of it. And that really motivated me to go into mental health services and to go into that lane, because I knew what it was for me. What I would have utilized, what I would have appreciated having, in my upbringing. And I remember what I went through when I saw my loved ones, what we all went through. So that's what initially motivated me to get into this field.
Terrence, someone that kind of battles, some sort of mental health, and how to accept that and then want to get help. That's the biggest thing. And for people that are in your life that are struggling with things, but they don't want to get help, Terrence, how do you go about it? Because if you try to go and talk to them, they're like, who made you a licensed physician to tell me I need mental health? And they're automatically defensive. So what's your advice for people out there that you're just trying to help your loved ones? You're seeing that there's like, they're different. They're not the same person and they need help, but they don't want to get it themselves.
I wish I could reach through here and give you a cyber high five for even asking me. I mean, my goodness. Look, I am so big on, number one, I believe in a village, right? I don't believe that we are created to go through our entire life just alone. Do we have moments alone? I absolutely think it's necessary. But do I believe that we are to go through the challenges that we go through by ourselves? No, I believe it takes a village. And guess what? With it being a village, so that means it could be uncle, aunt, and let's be clear, y'all. Village does not necessarily mean blood.
Right.
Whatever you value in your life, friendship, upbringing, that's a part of your village. And so when you have a village, I think one of the key components in motivating someone or inspiring someone to be open to getting help is creating a safe space. Creating a safe space requires us to be non-judgmental. It requires us to show patience. I'm going to say it again. It requires us to show patience, because just like you said, people not going to necessarily right off top be willing to go and jump at it, but you need to understand who you're speaking to, and you need to understand, try to get an understanding of what may be their triggers, what may be things that, what are their strengths, what are things they enjoy. If you're going to try to support someone, please be cognizant of, their emotions, how they feel, because it'll just help you in your approach. And just be patient with it. Sometimes it takes a week. Sometimes it takes a month. Sometimes it may take a month and a half. But I'm telling you, you find a way to show patience and create that safe space, you'll find out that you'll do less pulling, and people will be more drawn. They'll be more drawn to it because they'll feel comfortable. It'll actually work. It'll actually work.
Terrence, we witnessed the last couple of years professional athletes step away for a brief period of time to deal with mental health. And with the examples that we had, because people don't know the whole story, that it's more than just a game. How important is it to even these professional athletes who are at the height of their career and have opportunities? Like, for example, we had an Olympian who had an opportunity to win a gold medal, had to step away because of mental health issues. Just talk about like trying to balance that. You have a personal life, you want to deal with your mental health, but you're also an athlete at the top of your competitiveness, trying to either win championships or win medals. That just talk about how difficult that could be to have somebody that's going through that.
Oh my goodness. I've actually been blessed with the opportunity to support currently and in the past athletes that have reached a professional level, as well as high school, as well as college. And one thing that I can tell you is this: a lot of people forget that although they are athletes and they show an unbelievable ability in their particular sport, they are human too. Let me make sure I put that out there. Public service announcement. Everyone, professional athletes are human too. All right. They have feelings, they have emotions, just like us. And the thing about it is that they're actually on a higher platform. All right. So there's more eyes, more ears, coming down to make comment. And come on, y'all. Look, we're in the social media stage. And I know y'all, DJ, I know you can attest for this. Back in the day, not trying to date, because you're a very young man. Okay. But back in the day, I don't recall them having the social medias that they have today, to where you could just literally go up, push a button, say something, and it's going viral. But my thing is this, y'all. I want y'all to understand this. It takes even more of a level of discipline, a level of courage for professional athletes to do what they do, stay locked in, almost like the horse blinders, stay locked in, and to ignore the things that surface on social media. So they really have to do more than what y'all think with just working out. It's a huge audience that they're having to face. I mean, something as simple as, let me give an example. Imagine a professional athlete who shakes hands every time, let's say, fans come up. They shake hands, they're showing love, but one particular day, just that one particular moment, they're tired, they're exhausted. And a particular hand they did not shake gets captured on camera.
Mm-hmm.
And does that make that athlete a bad person? Y'all tell me. So that can blow up right there. So I want to just place emphasis on the fact that, yes, they're professional athletes. Yes, they show an ability to do some amazing things. And yes, they may be getting paid a lot of money. But I promise y'all, money, fame, and all those things will not take away the fact of a professional athlete still being human and still having a level of emotional and mental health wellness that they have to maintain.
Terrence Woodbury is, of course, our guest today on the Sportsvisions morning show. And Terrence, let's reel it in a little bit. Let's bring it a little closer to home. Obviously, the professional athletes and the exposure that they get and the dollars is one thing. But when we're talking about youth sports, when we're talking about middle school sports, when we're talking about high school sports, these are the people, in our communities that, again, have to deal with this. And again, when a parent is dealing with issues from his kid and it doesn't quite understand it, or a coach is coaching a kid and the kid is having or feeling a certain type of way, what are some of the signs, or how can we help the coaches and the parents understand what's going on with their children?
Excellent question. It's funny because I hear that question quite a bit, and I'm glad it gives me the opportunity to highlight this. I want to make sure that any parent that is listening right now, any young athlete that's listening right now, I want y'all to understand this. Please remember this. We are all uniquely built different, okay?
Mm-hmm.
We all are uniquely built different. What am I trying to say? I am saying there is no one size fits all. There is we're not like this mathematical problem that you could just come with the formula and you plug it into everyone and it's just going to work this way. It's going to give you this specific outcome. No, we're uniquely built different. But what I do want to say to all the parents out there, I am proud of you for what you do in supporting your child. I am proud of you right now. I have never met you, but I'm putting it out there in the atmosphere. I'm proud of any effort that you make to support your child, no matter what challenges you go through in life. Let me say this. Some of the signs of what we can pay attention to in our children when it comes to this is a switch up in something that they normally do. Okay? So things that normally was something that brought them joy suddenly don't bring them joy. And when I mean suddenly, I mean abrupt. All right? I'm not saying something that kind of gradually changes over time. No, that abruptness, pay attention to that. Pay attention to that, right? Because as human beings, all right, and especially with athletes, we could be ritualistic. And I know you understand that. Like, we may go and chew a specific gum just before a game, but that's the gum we want to chew. That's what we roll off. That's part of our preparation. But parents, I want you to be able to look at the abrupt, sharp changes that may happen in your child's routine. Pay attention to that and make sure you know what their routine is. Invest that time in understanding that child's routine so that you'll know when something's like, hold up, when something's abruptly changing. That is a telltale sign. No matter what it is across the board, that's a telltale sign. Pay attention to that.
When we parents, when we see kids act out nowadays, initially most parents or even the teachers are suspend them, get them out of here, but not knowing the root problem of why they're acting out. So when you see kids, especially in school or players, when they start acting out, what's your advice to coaches and teachers about how to handle that? Because it ain't always yelling back at them. It's not giving them that same energy. I don't think that works. I think sometimes you got to find the root problem that's even allowing them to react that way. Why? Is it from home? Is it whatever it may be? How do we go about getting inside, especially kids that don't like talking and opening up?
Ooh. I swear, y'all coming with some haymakers this morning. Excellent question. And I'm so invested in what you just asked. Here's the thing. Here's what I believe, okay? Okay. Therapists that may be hearing what I'm about to say, please don't be offended. Y'all know I'm speaking from the heart when I say this. One, no matter the interventions, there's different interventions, the different modalities that therapists can use to approach a particular diagnosis or someone. I'm not going there. Let's talk here, okay? What I truly believe for coaches, all right? A couple things. I think that it's important for coaches, teachers, parents to make sure we get an understanding of our own emotions, our own feelings, because believe it or not, it actually starts with us. What does trigger us? What pet peeves do we have? We need to make sure that we're cognizant of our own stuff so that it doesn't spill out, because I promise you, we could take somebody else's reaction, we could take a child's reaction to something, and it could become something personal if we're not in clear understanding of what it is for us. Our own, it's called introspection. It's like in the understanding of us, what makes us tick. We gotta really be solid in that so that we can kind of check ourselves, because it can go from 0 to 60. I like the way you asked that question, because it really can go to 0 to 60, and we can misread a cue from a child, right? Because I promise you, acting out, saying no, denial, all that stuff are telltale signs. They're telltale signs, And so while we may be like, nah, rough at it, the child, that athlete may be trying to tell us something, but not directly telling us something. All right. So it starts with understanding our own introspection. All right. What makes us tick? What triggers us? We got to make sure we understand that. Secondly, this is so key right here also. I truly believe that for coaches, I'm sending a shout out to you. It is very important to really look at the scope of becoming invested in your team and invested into that particular athlete that may be with you. What am I saying? I'm not saying that you have to put on the cape and be Superman, but what I'm saying is it would be very inclusive, very helpful if you really did maybe a couple different things to become invested into your particular athlete. Maybe having an open discussion with some of the teammates, making it feel like something to where it's a safe space for them. And when I say become invested, I'm saying it might help you out to learn a little more about the athlete than what you see on the surface. It might help you out, because when you see a reaction from a child and you see them do something, your mind, coach, your mind may go into a different solution than what you may have done it just based on the surface of what you've seen. If you understand that a child is going through such and such at home, or they're going through such and such, when they do something, if you have that intel, you're able to coach and support that child on a higher level, because you get what they're going through. becoming more invested.
Great answer.
Terrence, what advice would you give to a parent that has kids that play sports that, yes, you want to be competitive, but also you want them to have fun? And sometimes it's a fine line, especially when they end up missing a shot, or if they do something that they get discouraged by their teammates, coaches, but you want to try to encourage them. But what are some of the things, some ways that parents can help with dealing with just that competitive nature, and also just having their kids have fun? Because, you know, we all want to win and we're all competitive, but we also got to take care of ourselves individually.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I tell you what, y'all boxing today. All right. Look, I tell you what, this is something that I see all the time when I know for me, in my experience, when I'm supporting some of the student athletes, not just the student athletes, but the parents. I've had student athletes, high school. I've had them express the pressures that they go through simply when it comes to that, because their parent is vicariously living through them.
Hello, somebody.
Okay? And I'm saying this slow because I don't want my parents to jump through the screen at me, okay? But sometimes let me be more transparent here. A lot I see parents, their style of supporting their child in that sport, that competitive nature, it's a fine line, all right, between being just having fun and no, you need to do this, you need to be disciplined, you missed that shot, come on, man. It's because they have a perception, they have this vision of what they see and want their child to do. And it's funny because I say it again, what the question you just asked is even more intense now. We got NIL money. They can go to high school and get it now. So it just raised everything. So what I would say is this, it goes back to the very first thing that I said earlier about us being introspection and us understanding us as parents. Parents, hear me when I say this, please. Let's check ourselves first. We actually are the part of the foundation. Let me give a prime example. I've had children in working in a private practice. I've had children be brought in by a parent. The parent will literally drop the child off and say, "Fix him." Then come and pick the child up and put the child in the same environment. Parents doing the same thing, the same environment. This goes for these young student athletes. Okay, village. Remember what I said earlier? Village. All right. So just understand your perspective as a parent, where you are, what are your visions that you have. Sit down with your child and have an open discussion, non-judgmental. Let them express themselves. Understand what their dream is, what their vision is, and then express what yours is so that y'all have a clear understanding of their expectations and your expectations. And guess what? When you do that, the lines are no longer blurred, all right? And then you can be a better parent, better coach, a better supporter, because y'all understand what's the vision, what's the goal. Man.
Yes. Terrence Woodbury is our guest this morning on the Sportsvisions Morning Show. He is a mental health therapist. Now, Terrence, part of the education and part of the, I guess, understanding this whole this whole outlook on this situation is talking about the different people in that field that you can call on, that you can help. And you as a mental health therapist, how is that different than a mental health psychologist and some of the other titles that we hear? Because I don't want the people to have a perception of, that, you could go to any and everybody for the same problem, but, you guys specialize in certain things.
Right. Here's one that I see people get confused a lot. For example, psychiatrists, okay? Looking at a psychiatrist and things of that sort, they actually have the ability to prescribe medication. Okay. And then you have a mental health therapist. Mental health therapist, you can become a licensed mental health therapist through several avenues. And prime example, you could just specifically specialize in mental health, LCPC. So then we have social workers. I actually became a mental health therapist by way of social work. In social work, it's like a more broad, your ability to pretty much cover other areas, socially. You have levels of foster care and things of that sort that social workers tend to be more in a part of. All right. So there's different avenues of it. Parents, when it pertains to, let me make sure I say this. Parents, I am not discounting anything in particular of you supporting your child from a mental and emotional standpoint. I will say this. It is important to be open and to consider a professional when it comes to this. All right. Be open to that. You can be supportive. You absolutely can. But I want to encourage y'all in understanding that at some point to just help. It's like with sports. How are we going to play sports without a referee? We could play the sports.
Good point. Yep.
But we need that third person who specializes in that particular area to focus on that so that everyone and every party can do their talent, they can express their ability, and it be in a more organized manner. All right. So we can support each other, but it'll be in a more organized manner. But again, as far as the different specializations, like I said, psychiatrists, they're more in prescribing medications and things of that sort. There's other avenues that you can become a therapist through social work, or you could just specialize specifically in mental health or as a counselor. Oh, one more thing I want to throw out there. Life coach. Being a life coach is not specifically a licensed therapist per se, but it is someone that who has focused in on being supportive in your day-to-day routines and things of that support, and vice versa.
Well, Terrence, I tell you, man, you have definitely blessed us this morning by coming on and sharing, and I appreciate you. Before you go, let everybody know where they can find you on social media and some of the other work that you're doing in the community.
Oh, man. Everyone, I jump online. I jump into the TikToks, okay? T Wood Motivates on TikTok and IG. I have a website where you can follow any of the things I do on the podcast. I have an award-winning podcast called Triumphant Moments with T Wood, where I highlight significant moments in life beyond the surface to encourage, inform people to go beyond the challenges in their life. All right. And that you can go to encouragementforfree.com. See, I made it easy for y'all. Encouragement, FORFREE.com, forfree.com. And if you'd like me to come and support whatever function that you have going on with your company, booktwood.com. Easy. See how easy I made it? Booktwood.com.
Yes, sir. Hey, man, thank you so much, man. And it's always good to talk to you.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, y'all, for having me. I appreciate y'all.
All right. T Wood. Boy, I tell you, man, we've gone to school this morning. We've gone to school this morning.
And what an inspirational conversation and much needed on Sports Visions right now.
All right. Hey, let's go ahead and take a break. You're watching Facebook Live and you're listening to WLTC HD2 Sports Visions 921. This is the Sports Visions Morning Show.
If it's local, it's on the Sports Visions Morning Show with former Georgia Bulldog DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer.
Good morning, I'm Rex Castillo. Here's a look at your morning headlines. Panic unfolded at Savannah's Oglethorpe Mall as gunshots rang out near the Elevate store, sending shoppers scrambling for cover. 7 people were injured, including one victim that's in critical condition. Authorities are actively working to determine who opened fire and why. Meanwhile, in Columbus, a fire broke out at a vacant church on Veterans Parkway Wednesday night. Fire crews rescued one man from inside the building, and he's now recovering with non-life-threatening injuries. No firefighters were hurt during the incident. Staying in Georgia, the Plains Post Office now bears the names of the 39th President of the United States, Jimmy Carter, and his wife, Rosalind. In a special ceremony on Wednesday, the late president and first lady were honored in their Georgia hometown. Chip, the Carter's oldest son, spoke at the ceremony.
But I think they were excited over the years that Dad kept running mail through here, and it kept the post office alive and going when others were closing in the area. It's a great honor to have their name on that building.
From WRBL News 3, I'm Rex Castillo. Have a great Thursday, everybody.
Good Thursday morning. We are off to a clearer start to the day with those temperatures still hovering close to those seasonal averages in the low 70s. Expect more sunshine across the region this afternoon as those temperatures climb into the mid 90s, but it will feel more like the upper 90s when you factor in that humidity. Remaining dry and warm for the 4th of July with temperatures in the mid 90s. That rainfall doesn't really come back into the forecast until the second half of the weekend.
Hey there, fellow travelers. It's me, the Hotel Whiz. Before you go anywhere, call me day or night for hotel rates too low to publish. I'll save you up to 75% on over 500,000 hotels across the globe. You see, I've already done the research, so you don't have to spend time online trying to find the best deal. That's up to 75% off. Just call me, the Hotel Whiz. It's a free call, and you get instant access to rates too low to publish with no cancellation fees.
Make a free call now and save up to 75% off your hotel rooms the next time you're going somewhere for business or pleasure. Call the Hotel Whiz now and get instant access to rates too low to publish.
800-710-3739. 800-710-3739. 800-710-3739. Call the Hotel Whiz right now at 800-710-3739.
Hey, this is Lisa Stofan. Heard the Mark Patrick weight loss hypnosis hype? Well, I attended because my father stopped smoking with hypnosis. Hypnosis eliminated my desire for soda and fast food, made me want to exercise, and I lost 60 pounds in 6 months. My energy level exploded. I went to another session to deal with some other problem foods, and I lost another 10 pounds. In fact, I brought my husband. He lost weight. More important, cholesterol and blood pressure improved. My friend went, and she lost 20 pounds in the first 2 months. So does Mark Patrick hypnosis work? Oh yeah, it works. Nothing has changed my life more. Well, except maybe my husband. He's so proud of me. Makes me cry.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. What are you waiting for? Join Mark Patrick's seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed. Early bird special only $49.99. That's right. Weight loss seminar Wednesday, July 23rd at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites at Northlake in Columbus at 5:30 p.m. Registration starts at 5 p.m. Stop smoking seminars at 8 p.m. with registration at 7:30 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
Lori's Furniture Express, your express way to save.
There's a special deal going on at Gorey's Furniture Express. This 4th of July, Gorey's is celebrating Independence Day by paying the taxes on any purchase you make inside the store. Any purchase, any amount. Check out their great selection of furniture in stock and ready for you, and that's only at Gorey's Furniture. Happy 4th of July from Gorey's Furniture, Alabama Highway 169 in Opelika.
AutoNation's Columbus, Chrysler, Dodge, Ram. We believe in giving people a break. Right now, you can get $12,000 off a new 2025 Ram 1500 or $9,000 off a 2024 Jeep Gladiator. And if credit's been a struggle, don't stress. We've helped folks with no credit, bad credit, even bankruptcies. We're here to help, not judge. Looking for a solid used ride? We've got thousands at AutoNation's Columbus, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. And with 2 locations in Columbus, we're closer than you think. Come see us. We'll treat you right.
Your home for the Dan Patrick Show, 9 to 12 on Sportsvisions 92.1. Now back to the Sportsvisions Morning Show. Here's former Green Bay Packer DJ Jones and Fritz Behringer.
It's a great day to have a great day. And welcome to Thursday's edition of the Sportsvisions Morning Show. Man, Throwback Thursday indeed. We threw back, in fact, with Scott Williams, one of my former University of Georgia classmates, teammates, and again, just a tremendous friend who is doing big things in the SEC. He's working for the SEC Network in a capacity as a sales executive, a sales director. And I tell you, he shows us how they bring home the bacon in order to do all those wonderful things for the ESPN and the SEC Network. And, of course, with the parent company being Walt Disney.
He looked like he still can light your butt up, too, if you line up against him or try to play pickup ball. I wouldn't want to get on Scotty's bad side, but love talking to him, love getting the insight. And I that Longhorn Network thing, you know, it ended June 30th because on July 1st, technically, Texas at Oklahoma, that was their first day in the SEC, and there was no chance. And I thought he was going to say it, but there was no chance. Any of the other SEC schools were like, hold up. They get their own network and the SEC network now. That's not happening. But the Longhorns are fine with it because they're like, listen, we'll get rid of the Longhorn Network if we get to be in the best conference in America.
In addition to having Scotty on, if I have to ask you, where else would you be able to get detailed information? I mean, not a national show, not a regional show. This is a local sports talk show that, we just come from humble beginnings, and we have a nice, humble community here. We're very proud of in the Tri-City area. And again, we got information that the national shows don't.
I completely agree with that, man. And the things that we're hitting on today, from Scotty to T Wood as well, and looking forward to the next couple of guests. You're right about that, but it's been a long time since I heard that great voice of Scotty W. And so I'm glad he's back on with us.
Absolutely. And you mentioned T Wood, Terrence Woodbury. He's a young man that obviously the other part of his business is he does videos. He mentioned it at the end. He came in, I remember a year or two ago, he came in, and of course we sat down in my man cave, and he had come by way of Ben Watson, who's a very good friend and dear friend to the Sportsvisions radio show, as well as the Sportsvisions morning show. But Ben Watson and T Woods are great friends. And of course, T Woods was in town to do some work. And of course, I met him, and he heard of my story and the story of Sportsvisions, and he wanted to put it on film. He wanted to video it and make a documentary out of it. And he did so. And again, I had some rave reviews there. I mean, it was he went there with regards to a lot of different things, a lot of things that you probably know, and then some things that we talked about that you probably hadn't heard before. But the bottom line is this: he's a talented guy. You can tell by when I was introducing him, as far as his resume and his bio, he has about 3 or 4 degrees, and he's a very well versed guy, very versatile, and I appreciate what he's doing. But he's so humble. He's really humble, and to know that we have him as a resource as well, with everything going on with our kids, with our coaches. And the thing that I like about him, he, not only did we address, the kids, but we address the adults as well, because if you don't know what you don't know, you don't know. I mean, you don't know how to handle it. So, you got to be able to understand assess yourself first and foremost as a leader, as a parent, as a coach, and measure up so that you can make the right decisions about these kids.
And don't live vicariously through your kids.
Oh my goodness.
That is the biggest thing.
He hit it out of the park. Yeah.
And I will, and a couple of things. I know, Rich, you asked about the competitiveness. I don't mind the competitiveness within the kid. That's that dog in them. If they're trying to take the other person's lunch meat, they got to control that anger. It's controlled aggression. It's okay to be angry and have some anger and aggression and want to take down your opponent with every fiber in your body, but control it. Don't be out of control. But the parents getting mad and going at the kids, that's uncalled for, unnecessary, and it just doesn't work, DJ. And then you see stories in which kids get older in high school and they can't be coachable because they've been coached so hard by their parents that then now that anybody that is coming at them, they feel like it's like, oh, you're coming at my game or whatever it may be. We got to be better at that than parents.
Just to help you out there, if you're saying, well, what are they talking about? I don't get it. Well, when you see a 6, 7, 8-year-old kid or younger, when they, either make a bad play or make a mistake and they take their helmet off and throw it on the ground, or they're acting out as if they, it's the worst thing that ever could happen to them. Those are the emotional outbursts and things that you might need to take a little bit more a deeper dive into that particular kid, because the kids obviously, you want to have a competitive spirit, but getting to the point of crying, and uncontrollably, and somebody has to to caress them and hold them to stop them because they they might have swung and missed, or because they might have dropped a pass, or because a basket got scored on them. I mean, those things are that happens in sports, but when you see a breakdown like that of such, you might need to take a deeper dive.
Yeah, 100% agree with that. And don't just let it go, and don't just chop it up. Kids are going to be kids. That is how kids become adults that are lost, and we don't want that. You got to start it at a young age. You nip it in the bud. You're cognizant at 6 or 7, because when you get to 17 and then 27 and then 37, things aren't going to get fixed. They're not going to get better as you get older if you don't get to the root problem at a young age.
And Richard, I'm not just going to leave it on the kids. When you see, in these youth sports, when you see these coaches out of control and they're going after the umpire, or they're the fans in the stands, or the parents and the coach, I mean, when they're going over and beyond and they want to come to throwing blows and stuff, I mean, those are other issues.
Crazy.
And those are other ways that you might want to get yourself checked out, or that might be the sign. It's not just on the kids, but, again, at the end of the day, everybody needs to be checked.
Yeah, I agree.
And if you're a coach and if you're trying to make a spectacle because you do wear your emotion on your sleeve, you got to remember it's not about you. It's about the kids, and you have got to have that balance. Yes, it's okay to be competitive, but you cannot make a spectacle and make it about yourself, because the kids see that and say, well, my coach is out of control. I mean, why should I play for him or her?
Let me just say this. And again, this is what we see, Thrift, obviously, with the adults that we deal with and the coaches. And I mean, as grown people, we have a responsibility from a mature standpoint to be professional around the kids. But my pet peeve is that, coaches that wear their emotions on the sleeve to the point of doing it and showing it in front of their kids. I mean, if you have an issue or problem with another adult, that you should handle that business. And again, if it's not a professional relationship, if it's something personal, that's one thing. But pettiness and that immaturity, and you're acting out and you're saying things that you probably shouldn't say in front of kids. That's where I draw the line, and I don't agree with it. I've seen it happen, and I really don't. I don't like that. And so that's another trigger for me is if a guy or a person or a guy or a woman have outbreaks and can't hold their emotions back in front of their team, where they are revered and they are respected, and they're yelling or they're saying things about a grown person in front of these kids. That's unacceptable.
Yes. And then it's allowing the kids to think it's okay to talk to adults and other people like that, DJ. That's not how it should be. And I'm with you. I think, and especially if you see, like, there's this video that just came out, DJ, with Cam Newton, a 7-on-7 team found his jersey and started stepping on his jersey because he was trying to give them advice. And the coaches were videoing it and laughing with it. It's asinine to me.
Yeah.
I understand the players, they're kids, and you can tell them, hey, that's nonsense. That's not how you act. But it's the grown men that are telling them that's okay, that's funny. That's unbelievable to me. And I don't understand it. And I think we were kind of talking this with Curtis Crowell. We got to make sure coaches are coached. They understand what it takes to be a coach, how to talk to kids and develop kids. I know it's not to the extent teachers are, because it's not learning curriculum, but their behavior comes from playing sports. That is a learned thing. And yes, it comes from coaches. And if they don't know how to do it properly, and we got coaches that understand that, DJ, they're going to be setting kids up for failure for years to come.
And coaches have such a major impact on student athletes that you have got to be very careful. It is a fine line. We've seen incompetency, and we've also seen immaturity from coaches. And I don't want to get into the whole documentary on the Bishop Sycamore thing, because that was actually that's a whole nother topic for another time. But you've got to examine yourself and how are you leading these kids, because they look up to you. You're a role model, and they're going to mimic what you do. So it's very important that you're mature and you keep yourself in check.
And for those that are listening out there, and they said, well, who are they talking to? Well, we're talking real world. We're talking to the folks out there that matter. Again, if it hits you, it hits you. If it doesn't, then let it go right over your head. But this has to be said, because if we don't say it, who will, Thrift?
Yeah, exactly right. And that's what I'm saying. We got to put the message out there right now for people to understand what it takes with these kids, because I hear all the time, kids are worse than they've ever been. Look how they're acting out in school. But there are ways that we can do better. And when I look in the stands and we got nonsense happening in the stands, a lot of grown people talking, a lot of crap, and BS, and the kids see this. So what do you think they're going to do? They're going to react the same way when people are talking to them or trying to give them advice or whatever it may be. We got to be better than that. And again, just go to a game and you can see what I'm talking about.
All right, without further ado, let's go ahead and go to our favorite sports director. His name is Jack Patterson, and he is coming to us from the east side. He's on behalf of WRBL. Good morning. How are you, sir?
Morning, fellas. How's it going?
Hey, man, we're great. We're talking about something that I'm sure that you know all so well. Again, in and out of the ballparks and around that you maybe you don't even pay attention. Maybe you're in and out. And you don't pay attention to what the parents and the coaches, how when they go out out of control and out of character and yelling at the kids, yelling at the umps, yelling at each other. But we had, and the reason why we've been talking about this, because we had, a guest on, Terrence Woodbury, who is a certified specialist in that field. And we were just kind of talking about all walks and all shades of how kids, how parents, how coaches, everybody, has that point that, they can't take it anymore and they need to go get themselves checked out.
No, I totally get it. And I caught the tail end of what you guys were talking about right before I came on. And yeah, it does, that stuff does play a role, that kids are going to follow the examples that the adults around them give. Okay. And they're going to see if they're doing this stuff, then that means it's got to be okay. Right. And, to Thrift's point, I have seen it, around games I've shot in the past where, it almost, and I definitely don't want to encourage this by any stretch of the imagination, but it's like when you see an adult do it, it almost feels like the kids get a license. Okay, if they're doing it, okay, I can act out too if something doesn't go my way. So, the example you have to lead by example. Doesn't matter where you are. Okay, whether it's you're at work or you're at school, or if you're just out in public in everyday life, you've got to lead by example, because this, as the old saying goes, you really truly never know who's watching.
That's a good point. Excellent point. Hey, let's get back to sports, man. Look, we got double win by the Clingstones yesterday down in the Gump, with the Montgomery Biscuits, man. And it was always a good feeling. We were a day away from the 4th of July. And of course, they'll be back at Synovus Park and going up against Montgomery again. One of those unique series, away and home. But looking forward to an exciting 4th of July weekend with the Columbus Clingstones.
Man, that was a huge doubleheader sweep for the Clingstones last night. In game one, you have Ian Mejia, who's been probably the biggest bright spot outside of Ethan Workinger for the Clingstones this year. I think he's now 8-1 on the mound so far this year for the Clingstones. He's been fantastic, and he was fantastic again yesterday. And so to have him go give you quality outing, it was a 7-inning game, but he pitched a complete game, and the bats backed him up. You had Quintero score runs and then hit a home run to really put the game away. You had Zabrowski come through with some big base hits as well. And then the pitching stood up in game two as well, pitching a shutout. And then the offense wasn't as prevalent in game two, but they got a hit when they needed it. I believe it was David McCabe who hit drove in the only run of game two in the 7th inning. So it was essentially, last inning of the game, you get the run and then the pitching holds up in the bottom of the 7th. So a big 2-game sweep. It kind of reverses some of the damage done in the back half of that Biloxi series where the Clingstones kind of fell off a little bit. But now I want to say for the second half, they're back at 500. And not only that, but that was Montgomery was leading the second half of the Southern Division. So they've clawed closer. I think they may be a game behind now, if I'm not mistaken. So big game coming up today. And once again, it's all about building that momentum, especially as we get ready to head towards the All-Star break. And if you can start doing that, put some positives out there as you get ready to go into the All-Star break, get ready for, the stretch run, because, a lot of people don't realize this is that minor league does not go, the season does not go as long as major league. They're done. I want to say the regular season's done, I believe, the first week of September. So, time is really starting to become of the essence. You only have but so many games, and you really got to put your best foot forward as you try to make a run towards the second half championship and that playoff spot.
JP, Little League, we got some teams that are playing for state championships and then region coming up. Update us on what's going on around Little League in our area.
Man, it just seems like, every year it sneaks up on you, but you see how well coached our Little League kids are. We had the opportunity earlier this week to speak with Case Rasmus, who's the head coach of the 12U All-Stars over in Phoenix City. They're the Alabama State champions. They'll be heading to Warner Robins for the Southeast Regional coming up in a couple of weeks. And this is something that I'm really pulling for. The Northern All-Stars, they won the District 8 tournament last week. In about a week or so, they're going to be playing in the state tournament. And we could get the opportunity that if Northern pulls through and wins the state tournament and punches their ticket to Warner Robins, we can have the opportunity is very real. I want to say it would be the second round game if both teams will win, where we could have Phoenix City versus Northern in the Southeastern Regional.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
That would be in a region that has had tremendous Little League history. Obviously, Northern won the 2007 Little League World Series Championship. They've had plenty of success in Williamsport. Of course, Phoenix City, the 1999 U.S. Little League World Series champions. For a region that's had so much Little League history, that would be history that has never happened, where you had two teams from our area face off in the Southeastern Regional on the road to Williamsport, where you're on the doorstep. So that's something that I would love to see, honestly. I really would love to see it. And it's a very real possibility. Our teams have done well in the state tournament between whether it's been Northern or whether it's been American or whether it's been Harris County. We've had great success over the last 2 decades in the state tournament. More times than not, the Georgia representative in the Southeast Regional has been from our area. So I have really high hopes for this Northern team to, do what they need to do in the state tournament and then see if we can have a little fun and make some history down in Warner Robins at the end of the month.
Jack, we are less than 2 weeks away from SEC Media Days, and it's back in Atlanta after being in Nashville, Dallas last year. Just give us just a rundown of what you and Tyler are got going on. When are you going to get up to Atlanta? What are some of the hits that you're going to be having and some of the things that you're looking forward to with the entire week of SEC Media Days?
Well, Richard, man, I'm telling you, that's going to be one of the busiest, but also one of the most fun weeks I think we're going to have in a long time, because not only do we have SEC Media Days, we have the All-Star game in Atlanta too. So we're going to be doing double duty. We're going to be, covering, the All-Star game, but we're also going to be covering SEC Media Days. The day of the All-Star game, which is July 15th, that Tuesday, Georgia and Auburn are also speaking at SEC Media Days. So if there was ever a day to tune in to News 3 Sports, that July 15th, I would circle that on your calendar, highlight it, mark it in red, okay? Because we're going to have a ton of content coming your way from Atlanta, as not only the SEC teams getting ready for the season, it's the annual sign that football is here. I'm not even going to say around the corner. It's that football's here, and you go ahead and get ready. But then on top of that, we got the All-Star game back in Atlanta for the first time in 25 years. The Braves hosting Ron Acuna Jr. named the All-Star starter yesterday. Well, it looks like we may have a couple others as well that will make the team as well. So once again, July 15th is going to be a major day. And then July 16th as well will be back at SEC Media Days for the Alabama Crimson Tide as well. So it is going to be a top tier weekend, as you like to say, DJ. Is going to be top tier stuff, and I cannot wait. I really can't. That's how Tyler comes back. Tyler's getting ready to get married. He comes back from his honeymoon, and he's going to be right into one of the biggest weeks we've had in a long time.
JP, if you would, I know that getting ready to have your arsenal of videographers going out and on the prowl for high school football. Are there any new prospects that you're training that you got any that you're willing to announce? Any new hired hands, if you will?
We're working on a couple of new players in our rotation from our production department. Our production department, tends to have its own fair share. We've had a fair share of rotation this year. Not ready to announce anybody quite yet, but we'll be working on that. Especially, the ironic thing is when our teams have their preseason games, and we'll have 2 weeks of preseason coming up at the start of August. We have some teams that are going to be playing on August 1st. Some teams are going to be playing on August 8th, getting their preseason in before the season starts on August 15th. Well, that's preseason for us too. Okay. And that's the time that, not only are we covering the games where necessarily the score just don't really matter, like whose lines it is anyway, but it's also a time for us to train up our new crew that you'll see out there. So you'll see me and Tyler out there training folks up as they get ready for the main event that starts on August 15th. And man, we can't wait. It'll be 6 weeks coming up tomorrow. So we'll have our first games 6 weeks from tonight, because we have some Thursday night games, but the first prep zone is 6 weeks from tomorrow night, and I can't wait. I really cannot wait.
A couple of minutes left here in this segment, and I wanted to get your tie-in or buy-in on what's going on with the pitchers as far as the injured list with the Atlanta Braves. Spencer Schwellenbach, obviously the most recent to go on the injured list, and man, I tell you, everybody's falling apart.
Man, I tell you, it's just you get a little bit of good news when you get Jerks and Profar back, right? And but in the same announcement, it's just tucked away at the bottom. Spencer Schwellenbach goes on a 15-day DL with a fractured elbow. That's not 15-day IL stuff. That's 60-day IL stuff.
Yes.
So it's like, all right. So we don't have Schwellenbach. We don't have Sale. We still don't have Reynaldo Lopez. Okay. It's like, what are you going to do? It just seems like, every time you try to battle back, it's just like the rug gets taken out from you again. I don't know. Honestly, like at a certain point, it is not, you don't see other pitchers on other teams just falling by the wayside. You see the Braves are. Okay. So at a certain point, you've got to look at yourself in the mirror and say, what are we doing that's causing us to have more pitchers be injured than other teams? Because, we just got Daysbel Hernandez back last night. He's been out for a while. When you have so many pitchers, be out for so long because of injuries, and the pitching has been the bright spot for the Braves this year. Okay. So it's a detriment to what you're trying to do when, the one thing that's been working for you is constantly injured. And, like I said, I think it's time for the Braves to really look at themselves in the mirror and figure out, okay, what are we doing that's causing all of our pitchers to be consistently injured? Remember, we lost an AJ Smith-Shawver, done for the year as well. So really, you have 4 starting pitchers who are either currently injured, who have been injured at some point this year. And my guys, that's a problem. So that's something that I really do think they got to look in the mirror in.
All I got to say is keep your eyes and ears on Ian Mejia. He is a prospect that, the way these injuries are happening in Atlanta, we just might see him any time in the next few weeks, next few months, pop up at Truist Park. Hey, man, we appreciate you. Let everybody know where they can find you on social media and when they can see you on television tonight.
All right, so you can follow me on Twitter at @JPattersonTV and the News 3 Sports team at WRBL Sports on Twitter and WRBL News 3 Sports on Facebook. And then watch us on TV tonight at 6 and 11 on WRBL News 3. Also want to give a shout out to my main man, Tyler Redmond. He had a really cool story yesterday about Auburn's Power Soccer team. If you never heard of it, think Rocket League in real life. They won a national championship. That story is on WRBL.com right now as well. And also a big shout out to him. He's getting ready to get married this weekend. So ladies, he's off the market. You can't touch him. So a big shout out to him as well. And so you'll be seeing a lot of me next week as he goes and enjoys his wedding and his honeymoon. And so you'll see a lot of me next week. And then the team will be back together right in time for the All-Star game and SEC Media Days.
All right. Thank you so much, Jack. We appreciate you, big guy.
Thanks,
hey,
JP.
we're going to go ahead and take
Appreciate
a short
it, fella.
break. You are watching Facebook Live and you're listening to WLTC HD2 Sports Visions 921. This is the Sports Visions Morning Show.
I promise that your smile ain't gonna never leave. Shopping sprees in Paris, everything 24 carats.
Hey, it's Dan Patrick. Thanks for making us your home for local, regional, national sports talk in the Chattahoochee Valley. This is Sports Visions 92.1.
Corey's Furniture Express, your expressway to save.
There's a special deal going on at Corey's Furniture Express. This 4th of July, Corey's is celebrating Independence Day by paying the taxes on any purchase you make inside the store. Any purchase, any amount. Check out their great selection of furniture in stock and ready for you, and that's only at Corey's Furniture. Happy 4th of July from Corey's Furniture, Alabama Highway 169 in Opelika.
At Cartoons Car Stereo in Columbus, buy it today, get it installed today. That's right, same day installation. Cartoons, Rockford Fosgate products, stereo head units, amps, speakers, speaker boxes, alarms, remote starts, navigation units, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and so much more. Get same day installation today. Call or stop by today for details. Cartoons on Veterans Parkway in Columbus.
Hey, this is Lisa Stofan. Heard the Mark Patrick weight loss hypnosis hype? Well, I attended because my father stopped smoking with hypnosis. Hypnosis eliminated my desire for soda and fast food, made me want to exercise, and I lost 60 pounds in 6 months. My energy level exploded. I went to another session to deal with some other problem foods, and I lost another 10 pounds. In fact, I brought my husband. He lost weight. More important, cholesterol and blood pressure improved. My friend went, and she lost 20 pounds in the first 2 months. So does Mark Patrick hypnosis work? Oh yeah, it works. Nothing has changed my life more. Well, except maybe my husband. He's so proud of me. Makes me cry.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. What are you waiting for? Join Mark Patrick's seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed. Early bird special only $49.99. That's right. Weight loss seminar Wednesday, July 23rd at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites at North Lake in Columbus at 5:30 p.m. Registration starts at 5 p.m. Stop smoking seminars at 8 p.m. with registration at 7:30 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time on a fancy water bottle with ultra titanium alloy metal. You're not sure why you need all that. I mean, it just holds water. But you're getting it anyway, because if you're hiking near an active volcano and you accidentally drop the bottle into molten lava, your water will still be icy cold. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time for water bottles. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
DQ presents How to Make Your Summer Take Flight. Just head into DQ for our new Superman Cake Batter Cookie Dough Blizzard Treat. Treat your inner hero to an epic mix of sugar cookie dough, sprinkles, and cake batter flavor. Blend it all with legendary DQ soft serve, and it's enough to tempt Superman himself. Fly into DQ for our new Superman Cake Batter Cookie Dough Blizzard Treat before it's gone. And don't miss Superman. Only in theaters July 11th. DQ. Happy tastes good. Only at participating locations.
If your family's summer style needs a little pick-me-up, you've got to go to Kohl's. They have everything from polos and cute dresses to comfy kids outfits and Sephora essentials, plus more. Not to mention, you can get 20% off some of your faves and earn Kohl's cash. Yep, summer's already looking more stylish, all thanks to Kohl's. Select styles. Offer ends July 6th. Some exclusions apply. Coupons and Kohl's cash do not apply to Sephora. See store or kohls.com for details.
WLTC HD2 Casita and W221DP Columbus. You're listening to the Sportsvisions Morning Show. Sportsvisions 92.1. Now back to the Sportsvisions Morning Show. Here's Denver Broncos 1987 AFC champion DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer.
How you pull up, baby? How you pull up?
Welcome back to the Sportsvisions Morning Show. DJ Jones, Thrift Behringer, and Richard Holdridge in the building. Good Thursday morning, everybody, and we're happy that you are up and at 'em, and hopefully we help you start your day. I tell you, man, we've had some exciting guests on to include the SEC Network's very own Scotty Williams, and again, Terrence Woodbury. All the information that he was able to drop in the nuggets on us, Thrift. It's definitely noteworthy, and it's unreal, like you said, to know that we have those kind of resources to talk to the Sportsvisions Nation.
And that's why we're so unique and why we do what we do here.
Absolutely. Big shout out to Jack Patterson with WRBL, the sports director. And of course, we're going to check back in with, of course, the director of grounds with Synovus Park. His name is Brendan Seaver. And we got a big weekend coming up, Brendan. I know that the 4th of July is going to be a lot of folks in and around the ballpark down there. But more importantly, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, guys. Good to see you.
All right. Hey, man, you've had several days that the the team has been down in Montgomery, and of course, I know that you got that field looking like you could eat off of it. It's so clean and pretty. But my question right off the bat, with regards to your abilities to keep the grounds looking the way they do, how do you battle this heat, man? What do you do? Do you have to do anything extra?
Yeah, so we have a compound. We call it a wetting agent. It's got the consistency of soap, basically. We put that, it gets into the root base and it kind of holds on to moisture for that grass to be able to grab onto. And then for the infield dirt, we switch materials from kind of an expanded clay to a shale that helps hold moisture in. It doesn't soak up moisture. It just creates kind of a barrier to that sun.
Brendan and I was watching a Braves game the other day, and I know that it happens on the minor league level as well. But I guess there was a hole on the mound from, I guess, some of the habits of the pitchers. They dig, whether they scratch or whether they land. But it was an actual hole, probably about 4 inches deep, and probably about 6 inches in width. And they had to bring some solution out. And I saw they poured in, and they had to pack it down. What exactly is that?
That is that exact product is the same one that we use. It's Dura Edge black clay. It comes out of a mine in Pennsylvania. When it is compacted, you get all the air out of it, so it's not porous at all. You give it a little bit of water to help it set, and then it's like if you've ever done arts and crafts and you've made a pot or something out of clay,
yeah,
and you put that in the kiln and it becomes really, really hard. That's kind of the same process that we're doing.
When's the best time to cut grass and do your work on the lawn? Is it early in the morning? You getting there at the crack of dawn? Do you do it at night? I know you're not doing it in the middle of the day when it's
no. We'll do it as soon as we can. So as soon as the dew comes off, when the sun comes out, then we'll mow. It's usually about 11 o'clock. If you're mowing wet grass, you open it up to disease. So we'll wait till that dew gets off and wait till it dries out before we're mowing.
If you're just joining us and you haven't had the benefit of hearing from Brendan Seaver, Brendan, again, for the folks that don't know you, and again, he's the director of grounds with Synovus Park, more importantly, the Clingstones. Will you go through the process of what's your weekly or daily routine with caring for the entire grounds, and not just the grass, but everything that the playing surface?
So I'll go through, we'll start after the game. So after the game gets done, we'll go through, we clean all the edges out to make sure that they're still good. We'll fix the mound, we'll fix the plate. I'll nail drag the infield and give it a very heavy water. So if you drive by like an hour or so after the game, there's standing water on the infield. What that does is it helps settle it down. All that dust that comes up during the game, it just kind of compacts it back down. That helps us lead into the next morning. So when we come in, we'll put a plate compactor on the mound and the plate and the bullpens, make sure those are really, really firm. We'll mow, we'll drag, we'll water, we'll dress the mound of the plate. We strip. All of the conditioner comes off the mound of the plate each day. What that does, so that black clay that we were talking about earlier, when it gets broken down, it becomes kind of a powder. When that powder gets wet, it just becomes sticky and gummy, and the pitchers don't really like having that on there. So everything has to come off in order to get rid of that. And then usually by about that time, players start rolling out here about 1 o'clock. So then we're pretty much off for the afternoon. And then BP early work will usually start about 3:30, and then it's game time.
Brendan, does your routine change a bit when the Clingstones are on the road, or does it stay the same when the Clingstones have a 6-game homestand?
It is the exact opposite. So when the team leaves, like the past couple of days when they've been in Montgomery, we've gone through, I've aerated, we verticut, we rebuild the mound of the plate. We'll touch it up. We'll put kind of a fresh layer on it to get it back to where it needs to be, as far as strength and legality and all that kind of stuff. Game days it's a lot of Groundhog Day. It's the same jobs every single day where you're just making sure it's ready to go for the game. But when the team is on the road, that's when we can kind of do our projects, our fertilizing, all the stuff like that.
Brendan Seaver is our guest this morning on the Sportsvisions Morning Show, and we're talking to the guy that's in charge of the grounds at Synovus Park. Now, Brendan, I know there's some immaculate parks all over the Southern League, but is there a category that honors you guys as groundkeepers? If you got the best, you do have the best crew, or you do the best job. Is there anything of that nature?
Yeah, there is an award each year for Southern League Field of the Year, and then there is another one by kind of our association. So the Sports Field Managers Association will give one out for minor league baseball as well. But there is two different ones, and that's based on the report cards that visiting teams and visiting umpires do each week. It's just an accumulation of those scores.
Now, I know what I think, and what we as novice, we look at it, we see the ground looking fresh and everything looks so pretty. But what are some of the qualifications and some of the categories that they judge to win some of those awards that you just mentioned?
So it's the lighting, it's the cleanliness of the dugouts, the playability of the field itself, the mound, the plate, and it's even my staff and how prepared we are, especially with the inclement weather that we've had recently. The size of my crew, it's an all-encompassing kind of thing, but it does go all the way down to the cleanliness of the dugouts each day. So you have to be top to bottom, perfect to be able to achieve that.
Yeah, I think it's awesome the way you've been able to keep Synovus Park looking pristine, and it's, again, a credit to your crew. Can you, as you did last time, but I want to make sure your crew gets shouts out, because that's a big field. That's a lot of tasks. You got to be able to delegate. So shout out some of the people that make that possible, Brendan.
My assistant, Danny Enright, absolutely has been the biggest help. When he's here, he takes a lot off of my plate. Part-time staff, I know I'll miss a few guys, but Travis, Dylan, Austin, my intern, who is kind of like me. He's not a turf grass kid, but he just loves being in sports. He's done a great job. Aaron Green, D. Willis, my man D. Willis, if you're listening, I know you get up early to go to your yards. We could sit here for 20 minutes. There's so many guys. I've got a crew of we're a little bit bigger now. I've hired a few people. It's about 24 people.
Damn.
And I don't have a single bad apple. Everybody is absolutely awesome.
Great.
Everybody comes in, they try super hard to learn how to do this, because it's not an easy thing to be this super detailed. And everybody that I've brought onto my crew has just been fantastic in understanding the objective. Because the goal for myself and my assistant, Danny, when we started this year, was we're going to try and win that Field of the Year award. That's the goal that we set for ourselves, and it takes a lot of hands to be able to do that. And everybody that I have in my crew is working to achieve that.
Brendan, I want to take it back to the GIAA championships, because your crew was an outstanding MVP so far. Just take us through that, with the rain, and we're not sure if these games were going to get in, and putting the tarp on the field and having to deal with puddles out in the infield. And it was just a mess, but the GIAA was able to get all the playoff games in.
Yeah, no, and the preparation for that starts a few days earlier. Having a brand new field that drains like you wouldn't even believe is ridiculous. You saw it. And we've had instances while the team has been here. I think we had one on Thursday or Friday where we got a quarter inch of rain in about 20 minutes, and we go to dump the tarp off, and that water's gone. And even the visiting team was kind of looking at it. They're like, I don't know if we're going to be playing today. We wouldn't play elsewhere. And it wasn't even an issue. So it's going back to that tournament preparation a few days beforehand, making sure the field can take that water in the dirt areas, and then rolling through material, making sure we soaked up all those puddles on the infield and getting everything ready to go.
Brendan, a couple of questions for you, and then I'll let you get back to your business at hand. First and foremost, whether it's a artificial surface or whether it's a natural surface, when you're talking about crews, I mean, is the workload any more difficult than the other?
No, I don't think so. Artificial turf, it's not less work; it's just different work. Especially if you have corn husk, you're constantly having to water it. You have to continuously kind of groom it to make sure it stays level, or that infill will kind of pile up. So it's not so much, it's less work. It doesn't require as many people, but it is still a lot of work to take care of.
And lastly, with what you do and with what I've seen out of my naked eye, Truist Park and Synovus Park, the fields, I mean, do they have more of a staff, or is more required? I know that they play more games, but, pound for pound, is it pretty much you guys use the same techniques, the same products?
Yeah, it was constructed to be the exact same as Truist Park. Their crew is a little bit bigger. We have pretty much the same equipment, not quite on the same scale, but it is very, very, very close in almost every respect. I've gotten some feedback from some players that have played at both, and they compare it equally. So that's always nice to hear, getting compared to a big league field.
Well, Brendan, we certainly appreciate all your insight, man, and helping taking the Sportsvisions Nation backstage, behind the ropes, behind the curtains of course, Synovus Park, man. We appreciate you, and I'm proud that we were able to check in with you periodically.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime, guys.
All right, take care, man. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, Brendan.
Thanks, Brendan.
That's Brendan.
Love Brendan, love what he represents, and can't wait to see the ballpark again when I go down, hopefully this weekend.
All right, let's go ahead and take a break. You are watching Facebook Live, and you're listening to WLTC HD2 Sportsvisions 921. We are your hometown sports guys.
Look out! Pop, it's showtime. Guess who's back again? Oh, they don't know.
Hey, it's Dan Patrick. Thanks for waking up with the Sports Visions Morning Show with DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer. Catch me at 9 a.m. every weekday morning, right here on Sports Visions 92.1.
Good morning, I'm Rex Castillo. Here's a look at your morning headlines. Panic unfolded at Savannah's Oglethorpe Mall as gunshots rang out near the Elevate store, sending shoppers scrambling for cover. 7 people were injured, including one victim that's in critical condition. Authorities are actively working to determine who opened fire and why. Meanwhile, in Columbus, a fire broke out at a vacant church on Veterans Parkway Wednesday night. Fire crews rescued one man from inside the building, and he's now recovering with non-life-threatening injuries. No firefighters were hurt during the incident. Staying in Georgia, the Plains Post Office now bears the names of the 39th President of the United States, Jimmy Carter, and his wife, Rosalind. In a special ceremony on Wednesday, the late president and first lady were honored in their Georgia hometown. Chip, the Carter's oldest son, spoke at the ceremony.
But I think they were excited over the years that Dad kept running mail through here, and it kept the post office alive and going when others were closing in the area. It's a great honor to have their name on that building.
From WRBL News 3, I'm Rex Castillo. Have a great Thursday, everybody.
Good Thursday morning. We were off to a clearer start to the day with those temperatures still hovering close to those seasonal averages in the low 70s. Expect more sunshine across the region this afternoon as those temperatures climb into the mid 90s, but it will feel more like the upper 90s when you factor in that humidity. Remaining dry and warm for the 4th of July with temperatures in the mid 90s. That rainfall doesn't really come back into the forecast until the second half of the weekend.
Celebrate America's birthday all weekend long at Synovus Park as the Columbus Clingstones battle the Montgomery Biscuits July 4th through the 6th. It all starts Friday with a red, white, and boom kind of night. A dazzling post-game fireworks display presented by Piedmont Health. On Saturday, the first 1,000 fans 21 and over score a free Clingstones floppy hat courtesy of Cutwater. And kids can run the bases after the game thanks to Witt's Frozen Custard. Sunday wraps it up with 706 Day Fuzzy's Kids Club. Get your tickets now at clingstones.com.
Hi, it's Steve Mann. Have you heard the commercials for the Mark Patrick Stop Smoking seminars? And they said only $49.99 and it could work for you. So I thought, that's not even a week's worth of smoking. So I went. And guess what? It did work for me. You know, my friends and family are still amazed. I quit smoking. I didn't have cravings, anxiety, or weight gain. Listen, I don't know how it works, but I know it works because I'm living proof, and it's 100% guaranteed. So what do you got to lose? I'll tell you what you got to lose. A very bad habit.
Join Mark Patrick's seminars and stop smoking now without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Early bird special only $49.99 guaranteed. Hypnosis designed to work without anxiety, irritability, or weight gain. Early bird special only $49.99. Become a non-smoker. That's right. Seminar Wednesday, July 23rd at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites at North Lake in Columbus. Stop smoking seminars at 8 p.m. Weight loss seminars at 5:30 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
William is one of millions of Americans who uses GoodRx to save on the cost of their prescriptions.
My oldest daughter, Camilla, 2 days old, she had to have open heart surgery. All of a sudden, she's on 5 different medications. It adds up at the end of the month. Me and the pharmacist got so tight. She said, GoodRx save you a lot of money. Saving that extra $200-300 a month. We're able to do all these extra activities, so it puts less stress on our household, and it puts less stress on our pockets.
Download the free app or visit GoodRx.com and start saving today. GoodRx user compensated for their time. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance.
Covering local and national sports. This is the Sports Visions Morning Show on Sports Visions 92.1. Drafted by the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Green Bay Packers. Here's DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer.
Welcome back to the Sports Visions Morning Show. DJ Jones, Thrift Behringer, and Richard Holdridge. Good Thursday morning, everybody out there. I tell you what, we're feeling good. It's a great day for a great day. Big shout out to Brendan Seaver, who is the groundskeeper for the Columbus Clingstones down at Synovus Park. We appreciate him. And again, we were talking during the break how important it is that, to have a field that looks as great as it does. And he said that, a lot of the players who played in both Truist Park as well as at Synovus Park said that the fields are very, very equal with regards to how they're kept up. And again, the performance level that the players are able to play on. And I know it's very, very it's easy for us to say, you know what, that's what they're supposed to do. But again, a lot of work goes into that. And a big shout out to the crew. You mentioned about 22 people. Thrift, that sounds about like as many people as you got with Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
He's got quite a few. I was just about to say, that's a pretty big team, DJ.
Absolutely. But we are thankful that we have an opportunity to go backstage, go behind the curtains, like I mentioned before, and talk to Brendan Seaver. And periodically we will continue to do so. Got some information here for you. We, of course, talked about Coach Tommy Drew, our beloved one. He has gone on to glory, but I have some information here for those of you who want to, of course, pay your last respects to Coach Drew. His services will be on Monday, July the 7th. There'll be visitation at 11 p.m. and the actual funeral ceremony will be at 2 p.m. and that'll be at Striffler Hamby. But everybody that want to go out, he had a tremendous amount of people that he touched, from the parents to the players to the cheerleaders. It was incredible of what this guy was able to do, his legacy that he leaves behind. He leaves some very, very successful individuals, that have been a part of his program. And I'm just I'm thrilled to be one of those individuals because, again, Tommy Drew and his family, they were all in. And again, and that's why when I kind of frown on when we were talking about some of the ballparks and some of the parents and some of the coaches, the way that they were acting out. We didn't have that. I mean, it was a total different deal. And because it started at the top and he was the top, he was the leader of that. He was a professional. He was a guy that he was a teacher. He was a coach. He had compassion for people. And he loved everybody. He loves everything about what we did. And again, that's why you have so many people that are coming to the forefront, whether it's the social media post that I put up the other day before he passed, but the pictures, that I put up. And it's just been a tremendous outpour for Coach Drew. And again, condolences to his family. And I'm just very appreciative that he had a part in my life and my upbringing and pouring into me.
Exactly. And I'm glad you were able to talk to him before he passed away. And Little League coaches that do make a difference in kids' lives, they never get forgotten.
Absolutely.
DJ. And I think it's awesome that you were able to talk about Coach Tommy Drew.
Absolutely. And I hope that, and I know that most people that have the experience or that I had, or whether they didn't, but the fact of the matter is, your first coaches early on in whatever sport it is, they have an impact on you, Richard. You have to know that first, whether it was your piano teacher or whether it was whatever the musical instrument that you play, whether it was just, if you're an artist, whatever your first little watercolor deal. But, with us, the Little League coaches, as far as baseball and football and basketball, hockey, tennis, golf, whatever it is, they are so impactful, especially when you've been known to win and you've grown from a boy to a young man.
Yeah, I was fortunate to have a Little League coach that coached me 3 separate times in Little League, and in 11-year-old ball, 12-year-old ball, and then 15-year-old ball. Like when I was up in the senior league, they actually had a draft. He saw that I was available, and he picked me up, and he had a huge impact on my life. And I think that, also with my dad being the assistant coach, it's very important that you have these coaches that we talked about the good and the bad with coaches, but these coaches that have an impact on your life, they speak volumes, and they're going to carry with these kids for the rest of their lilife.
Thrift, I think this is a perfect transition to talk about, your granddad, who is also another one of those young men that took just an extraordinary approach to developing young people. And he has just a impeccable reputation when it comes to, the things and the same qualities that I was talking about Coach Drew.
Yeah.
But, you talk about, the legacy that, of course, Coach Drew leaves behind. Your granddad obviously is still here with us and has just as many, or has touched it and affected just as many as well. And I know that, I'm pretty sure your granddad knows of Tommy Drew or has been in his presence.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And I'll have to ask him when I talk to him. But yeah, my granddad, longtime middle school coach around this area, also coached in high school. He has the longest winning streak in middle school history. I think it was 40 games when he was at Rothschild. And they won the championship in football, track and field, basketball, every sport they would win a championship in. And he was the AD and head football and basketball coach. So he was in that crucial part, and why I was so thankful for you putting middle school coaches in the football awards luncheon, because they make a difference. That's when the development is, okay? That's when kids need to learn how to play the game the right way. And he wasn't one of those that yelled and screamed and acted crazy and berated the officials. If he needed to say something, he will. He needed to get on to you, he will. But that wasn't his demeanor. It wasn't fiery all the time. And I think that's what I've learned about even cool with my granddad. You don't have to be in someone's face to get your point across every single time.
And then just to add the cherry on top, when you're talking about middle school coaches or junior high coaches, as we called it back in the day, as your granddad, Larry Bush, but Tommy Drew and all the other coaches of the other leagues around town, that was the feeder system to the junior high program.
Right.
And that's why I know that they have to have some kind of a understanding. Even Josh Pate's dad, Dan Pate, he was another legendary coach around here and who had opportunity. But those guys, those youth league coaches from back in the day, and those middle league coaches, middle school coaches or junior high coaches, like you said, they had to, of course, been. And again, I would think it's even more prevalent now because again, there's so many travel ball, football, and basketball teams that these coaches and these youth league coaches have to deal with. And again, of course, I'm sure the junior high school or the middle school coaches want to start and have those relationships a lot sooner so they can know what's coming to them. And even the high school coaches.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone needs to work together in this regard. And that's why I think, again, it starts at the little league level. Got to have guys, men or women, don't have to be guys, just men or women that are showing the kids how to play and understand the game. You're not trying to create Kobe Bryant at 8 years old. What you're trying to create is someone that loves the game, wants to have a good work ethic, and when they get older, knows what it takes to be great, and they love the game to do what it takes.
Richard, I want you to, I know we had some people out there that commented online, and I wanted you to give them the shout outs if you would.
Absolutely, DJ. Rick Beach, the voice of East Alabama Motor Speedway. He says there's going to be fireworks this Saturday night at East Alabama Motor Speedway. He also called in. So we're looking forward to that. And if you have an opportunity, you can see fireworks in double days. Stanley Crowell, good morning. And so glad that you made it. Have a wonderful day and keep on passing on that knowledge and enlightenment. Also, Sandra Vett Shelton says he's giving some great advice, and this is in regards to Terrence Woodbury. As a mother of 4 athletes, she gets it.
Wow.
And so thank you for commenting and continue calling, and also commenting and call the station if you can.
706-324-1420 is the number to call. You know, Thrift, I had to ask you this because I know that you might have a little bit more experience than I have, especially in recent days. You know, as far as the fireworks, and I know that there's going to be shows. I'm just going to go watch them. I'm not going to go purchase any because I don't do fireworks real well myself. But I enjoy a great fireworks show. You got anything lined up in particular?
Where I'm going to go for the fireworks show? No, because I actually like doing my own fireworks. So most of the time we go out to my parents, and my dad goes to one of those fireworks shops, gets a bunch. And last year, unfortunately, I burned my hand. Like it got me good, one of the fireworks. So I had to learn my lesson in that regard, but I didn't lose any fingers or anything, DJ. But parents are out of town. So me and Natalie are actually trying to look up things to do. I know Synovus is going to be having a massive fireworks show with the Clingstones. Aside from that, I don't know if anything else is going on fireworks-wise within the city. You remember what used to be Thunder on the Hooch?
Yeah.
My aunt, was working at WTV at the time. That used to be the thing to do on July 4th, and I do miss it. But as far as I know, the biggest thing is the Clingstones game, and be able to watch it. You can see that from almost anywhere.
I think a couple of 4th of Julys ago, Miss Candy and I, we went down and saw the Thunder on the Hooch, and on one side of the river, and on the other side over on the amphitheater side of where in Phoenix City, there was another actually fireworks show. Or maybe that was one and the same, but I know that, there was a couple of different options at one point in time, but right now it sounds like the only thing that I'm hearing about primarily. Oh, no. There's another one that I'm sure I've heard Aunt Merritt talk about it on social media, and it's out off of Macon Road in the parking lot of what used to be Winn-Dixie, or maybe it's still Winn-Dixie. But he was talking about some type of gathering and some type of fireworks show. I'm not sure when. I got to get the details on that, but that's another option as well. So I do remember seeing Aunt Merritt, whom you guys will be in the gymnasium with tonight. Of course, out at Shirley B with this adult league basketball.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. 7:15 is the time of the championship. Sorry, I was trying to see if there was anything else locally for fireworks that were going on tomorrow night. But tonight is where it's going down. It is Parks and Rec, Curtis Simpson, Sylvester Selden. They put together Night Ballers, and it had over close to 15 teams that had about 10 players on each team, so over 100 players in it, and they finally are down to the championship. 7:15 tonight at Shirley B. Winston Park.
For those folks out there that are into basketball and have been in the last 5, 10, 15 years, some of the names that you'll see and hear about tonight. I know one in particular that if I was going to be heading in that direction, I would love to see what A.J. Watts still had in the tank.
Yeah, A.J. Watts, he actually played on Uptown. They actually played in the semifinals. Unfortunately, they lost, but A.J. Watts was fantastic the other night. He still can play, obviously leading the Carver Tigers to the state championship in 2019 under legendary coach Warren Beulah. And I just think that it's great just to see former players coming back in the community. And, people get a little nostalgic when they see these players that could still ball. And it's great to see AJ out there. Tonight, I mean, we're going to see Jared Adderton. A lot of people familiar with him, just fresh out of Columbus State, getting to the second round of the NCAA tournament. And then several coaches. I think it's important that coaches can still play because their athletes can see them out on the court and say, oh, man, I can't believe the coach can still ball. And so we got several coaches, the Shaw coach, Coach Christopher, a.k.a. Old School Horton, and Carl Ivey Jr., the coach from Brookstone.
Well, Thrift, I know that this is a name that is really relevant with regards to some of the up and coming or some of the guys that Cam, the guy that played at Kendrick that you're
Cam Baker.
Yeah, Cam Baker. Would we see him?
He did not play in this. He actually lives in Atlanta. He runs a Parks and Rec actual rec center up in Douglasville. So he is he's not coming down and wasn't able to play in the league, but he does still play for the Columbus Skyhawks, which is a semi-pro team. So he makes it down for that, but wasn't able to make it down for the league. But hey, Jonathan Gordon from Calvary played in it. Carl Ivey Jr. from Brookstone. Christopher Horton from Shaw. These are head coaches that were playing in this league. So even some assistant coaches from Columbus State. It's going to be a fun championship game for sure.
Absolutely. And of course, this is a perfect opportunity for some of the players to come out and watch their coaches and see if their coaches can practice what they preach.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you this, a majority of them can, DJ, and you can see for yourself. So it should be a lot of fun. On the team money calling, his name is Elijah Vincent. I call him EJ, and EJ is an assistant coach for Kendall Mills, or was at Hardaway, and he's also on the football staff and played at Northside, and he's a big trash talker. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's good to see these coaches, assistant coaches, all that are giving back, that are not super old, still balling right now.
As we go to the break, of course, our final break of the day, we want to tell you that, give a big shout out to all of our summer awards coaches. Again, of course, a couple of coaches from Pacelli, who boys and girls soccer, Coach G over there, as well as Coach girls.
Yeah, Zach Cochran. Coach Guja and Cochran.
Yeah, call him Coach G to make it easier on myself. And also, when you talk about, with Brookstone Cougars winning the state championship in baseball, Greg Mathis. Of course, Tim Fanning over at Glenwood, the state championships over there in Alabama. And again, Tanner Glisson up in, of course, Troup County.
Yeah, congratulations to them, and great job winning a championship. And now we're about to start 25-26. See if they can't get more.
All right, let's go ahead and take our final break of the day. You're watching Facebook Live and you're listening to WLTC HD2, Sportsvisions 921. This is the Sportsvisions Morning Show.
I can't wait much longer. I know I got to be right now, because I can't get much stronger. Man, I've been waiting all night now. That's how long I've been on.
If it's local, it's on the Sportsvisions Morning Show with former Georgia Bulldog DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time on a fancy water bottle with ultra titanium alloy metal. You're not sure why you need all that. I mean, it just holds water. But you're getting it anyway. Because if you're hiking near an active volcano and you accidentally drop the bottle into molten lava, your water will still be icy cold. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For water bottles. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Lori's Furniture Express, your express way to save.
There's a special deal going on at Gorey's Furniture Express. This 4th of July, Gorey's is celebrating Independence Day by paying the taxes on any purchase you make inside the store. Any purchase, any amount. Check out their great selection of furniture in stock and ready for you, and that's only at Gorey's Furniture. Happy 4th of July from Gorey's Furniture, Alabama Highway 169 in Opelika.
Hey, this is Lisa Stofan. Heard the Mark Patrick weight loss hypnosis hype? Well, I attended because my father stopped smoking with hypnosis. Hypnosis eliminated my desire for soda and fast food, made me want to exercise, and I lost 60 pounds in 6 months. My energy level exploded. I went to another session to deal with some other problem foods, and I lost another 10 pounds. In fact, I brought my husband. He lost weight. More important, cholesterol and blood pressure improved. My friend went, and she lost 20 pounds in the first 2 months. So does Mark Patrick hypnosis work? Oh yeah, it works. Nothing has changed my life more. Well, except maybe my husband. He's so proud of me. Makes me cry.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. What are you waiting for? Join Mark Patrick's seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed. Early bird special only $49.99. That's right. Weight loss seminar Wednesday, July 23rd at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites at Northlake in Columbus at 5:30 p.m. Registration starts at 5 p.m. Stop smoking seminars at 8 p.m. with registration at 7:30 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
Every day, 12 children die from sepsis. More than from cancer. Most people don't know the word sepsis or the symptoms. Protect yourself and your loved ones. To learn more about the symptoms, Go to sepsis.org.
Working safely around underground utilities could put you at risk for outages, injury, and loss of life. Don't risk it. Alabama 811 plays a vital role in taking the request to have underground utilities marked. It's free, it's simple, it's the law. Visit al811.com for more info.
If your family's summer style needs a little pick-me-up, you've got to go to Kohl's. They have everything from polos and cute dresses to comfy kids outfits and Sephora essentials, plus more. Not to mention, you can get 20% off some of your faves and earn Kohl's cash. Yep, summer's already looking more stylish, all thanks to Kohl's. Select styles. Offer ends July 6th. Some exclusions apply. Coupons and Kohl's cash do not apply to Sephora. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Minor League Baseball is back in Columbus. Catch Clingstone's baseball every night on Sportsvisions 92.1. Your home for the Sportsvisions Morning Show with DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer, the Dan Patrick Show, The Herd with Colin Cowherd, and the Paul Feinbaum Show. If it's local, it's on the Sportsvisions Morning Show with former Georgia Bulldog DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer.
Welcome back to the final segment of the Sportsvisions Morning Show. DJ Jones, Thrift Behringer, and Richard Holdridge. Good Thursday morning, everybody. Hey, the weekend is here. Of course, I know that the folks that are taking off today, that are waking up now and hearing our voices, are starting to, of course, do all the right things with regards to celebrating the 4th of July. And again, tomorrow officially is the 4th of July. And again, into the weekend, man, an extended period. And Thrift, I know that this side of the basketball game that you guys will be calling this afternoon, it's going to be all barbecue and good time.
Yeah, enjoying the weekend for sure. We do have Columbus United on Saturday, but Friday's July 4th. By the way, if you want to buy tickets online for Columbus United, because we were the broadcast partner and broadcasted all their home games this year, they said if you're a fan of Georgia Alabama Sports Live, you put in GA Sports discount code, 20% off tickets. So you're getting 20% off for fan appreciation. Final home game this Saturday. Put in GA Sports on the discount code.
Good deal.
Yeah. And David Boyd says, hey, sports family.
That's him.
Have a safe 4th, July 4th, and let's make some memories.
DB, we appreciate you out there. He's he's another one of those loyal listeners out there. Surprised that actually they had their hands full, so they deserve a break because with regards to all the tournaments that were going on over there the past month and a half or so.
Geez, man, he's over 25, 30 for sure.
Yeah, usually I don't know if you guys remember on July 4th, the USA softball team would play at South Commons, but that's been a while, but that was a big 4th of July event. They were playing like Japan.
I tell you what, the DB's probably saying, be quiet. We got
I know. I'm not trying to make it. I don't want to get anybody get any ideas.
But looking forward to enjoying it. Spending some time with the family and relaxing. And I tell you, man, it's always a great time. It's the summer, man. And, like we've said at the start of the summer, make sure that if you're doing any outside activities, make sure that you hydrate. Now, again, we can't control what's going on in your cup, in that red cup that you have, but hopefully in between whatever you put in that cup, you'll put water in there so that you can actually replenish it, especially if you're outside.
Yeah, just be smart and be understanding and don't do anything stupid and enjoy what should be a fun holiday weekend.
And for those of us who are responsible adults who have grandkids and even our children and little small children, pay extra attention to those guys because they don't know. They just love to have a good time. So it's your responsibility to make sure that they're hydrated and that they don't spend a whole lot of time in the sun.
Yeah, exactly. And got to be smart about it. And let's have fun because the weather should be good. I don't see any rain, and knock on wood. So it should be a fun weekend. Going to be hot, though, so be smart. Enjoy the pool. Enjoy the cold.
Thrift, we were talking about the NBA during the break, and we talked about LeBron James and Bronny. And, the bottom line is that it's a little unusual. And, of course, I know that for the first time in his career that LeBron James has had to come to the fact that, the teams is not going to be building around him. And I know that he signed, or at least he signed to come on for that $50+ million, but on the last year of his deal. However, that doesn't mean a whole lot because it's known that, of course, the new owners of the Los Angeles LA Lakers will be trying to build a team around Luka, and that probably will be sooner than later. So they won't be catering to LeBron. So think that he's just going to be hanging on just to be hanging on, I don't know. I look for some kind of big deal where he'll end up somewhere with another last shot at winning a title.
Yeah, I think it's the market for people trading for him is the problem. There's not a huge market or demand for almost or now 40-year-old LeBron James at $50 million a year. Potentially maybe Cleveland, but whoever it is, it's going to have to be a multi-team trade. So we'll see. This is kind of awkward for LeBron because it's the first time a team doesn't really care about building around him. They got a star for their future, and they're making moves in that regard for Luka.
I think you should keep in mind, Rich, that the fact of the matter is that we are on the backside of LeBron James. And again, a team that invests that money into him knows that obviously he could make a significant return with his, of course, farewell tour. Now, again, I would love to be on the end of that, especially in a team in a town that doesn't draw as well, that doesn't have as much production or makes as much money as far as their arena and in their games. So again, but at the same time, that doesn't necessarily mean that, it's going to account for that $50+ million salary.
Yeah, and there's been talks that, he could go back to Cleveland, he could go back to Miami, but, that relationship with Pat Riley, I highly doubt it. If he stays with the Lakers, in my mind, this is not a championship team, even with signing DeAndre Ayton, because they're building around Luka. If it is going to be a farewell tour, you got to kind of factor in how many teams are willing to give up valuable assets to get LeBron. I think it might be just a publicity stunt just to sell tickets and also have that farewell tour. And I don't know if LeBron really wants to do that in the twilight of his career. I mean, I think he wants to stay in LA because that's where he has built his big business with Clutch Sports and being the executive producer, and Hollywood's out there. And I think he wants to win a championship, but also LA has really been the perfect place for LeBron to go since he's been there since 2018. It's going to be interesting to see what LeBron does. I do believe he's got one more year left. He's going to turn 41 in December. I highly doubt he's going to play after 41, even though he's playing at a pretty good level at age 40.
Here's the $65,000 question. Does the management or the current leadership of the Los Angeles Lakers, do they care about worrying about what LeBron wants, or are they going to move him to make the best in the best interest of the Los Angeles Lakers?
Definitely Los Angeles Lakers, because LeBron felt, because of the ownership situation with Jim Buss, the buffoon son of Dr. Jerry Buss, and then relinquishing control to Jeannie Buss. It was a whole thing, suing each other, just terrible. And even with the malpractice of the ownership, they were able to get a championship, and LeBron did come to the Lakers. He's not going to be able to bamboozle this new ownership group that own the Dodgers. You see, they're one of the number one franchises in all professional sports. Now they're about to take over the Lakers, and LeBron knows, all right, I can't control this group like I have in years past. Plus, he doesn't have all the leverage at 41. They're going to make the moves what's best for the Lakers, 100% on that.
I know they've been really quiet about, his son, Bronny, and obviously how that factors in. I mean, if they are, they're not caring a whole lot about how they handle the situation with LeBron. Bronny's, that's just another line item that, just kind of hold by the way. But at the end of the day, guys, with all the attention that particular episode brought to the NBA with regards to Bronny and LeBron, and of course them wanting to play together, and of course LeBron demanding a certain amount of out of LA to make sure that their son he can play with his son. How did that now? Where does that leave Bronny in the midst of everything?
I still think Bronny is going to be playing in the G League. I don't know if he's going to be playing for the Lakers organization, depending on where LeBron James goes. But in my opinion, we were talking about this off air. Bronny is a 6'2" shooting guard, and I just don't think that fits with the type of NBA player that is now a shooting guard, more like 6'6", 6'7", and I think that he's undersized, and I think that he's a G League player.
Thrift, is it fair to say that he's a 6'2" shooting guard without a jump shot?
Yeah, and he can't shoot either. Hey, be careful. Listen, be careful making points around Richard or Silliman. Put him on air for himself. You're going to steal my 6'2" point. No, I'm kidding with you, Richard.
We were talking about that off air, but you're right.
It's really, I took it from Kevin Durant, because Kevin Durant came out and said on LeBron James's podcast, if you're a 6'6" guard and you're not a bulldog defensive guy like Drew Holiday, or if you're not one of the best offensive basketball players to ever can't grace the earth and Kyrie Irving, he doesn't see in today's league you being successful. he said that right in LeBron's face. And either LeBron's delusional, thinking that his son can either be Drew Holiday or Kyrie, or he knows that he's just helping his kid play his dream out. And then once LeBron's done, unless he owns a team, I just don't ever see LeBron James being a relevant factor in any NBA capacity.
Now, wait a minute. Stop right there, because LeBron has another son. And again, will we start seeing the promotions and marketing of that particular relationship, being able to, for him to hang around and play with his son, no matter whether he's chasing a championship or not?
So, by the way, he's going to Arizona.
Yeah.
And so Bryce is 18 years old, and we'll see. His height for him is 6'6". So got a little bit more height on him. He didn't come with near the flair Bronny did. And I don't know why, because many people that in the know think that Maximus will be the better NBA and better overall prospect. But neither one of them can shoot. And I think that's one of the biggest issues, is that the shooting needs to be key, especially in today's game. And then you don't have height. Come on now.
Richard, I got to ask you this question. If you were the son of one of the greatest basketball players of all time, now, again, you got two sons, and neither one of them can shoot right now. I mean, I would have thought that they, with shooting coaches, I would have thought they had shooting coaches as early as, they could pick up and shoot in a regulation goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would think that they would have the shooting part down, but it is so much pressure being a son of a superstar. We've seen that with Michael Jordan's kids, but I think that with Bronny James, he did it the right way going through college and everything. Yes, he did have that episode, but the difference between Bronny and Bryce is that Bronny was a more higher prospect. He was like a 4-star, 5-star prospect coming out of high school, and it just didn't pan out in the NBA. Here's the thing. He did get to play in the NBA, and that was great. History was made when LeBron and Bronny checked into the game, and that was the first time in history. But now with Bryce, I want to see how he does at Arizona. Now they're in the Big 12. If he has an impact in college, I think that Bryce needs to stay in college as long as he can to develop his game, to possibly he could get a shot in the NBA as well.
With all due respect, I know I need to put a disclaimer on it, because we didn't mention the fact that Bronny had a cardiac arrest, in which slowed down and wiped out a whole entire year of his development. So, he that had some parts into, of course, him not being the player that we all thought that he was.
Yeah, and I understand that too. But even before that happened, I never thought Bronny James was going to be a difference maker in the NBA. Bryce, by the way, is, according to 247, he is a 3-star that is ranked 283rd nationally, and he is signed with Arizona, going to be playing with them this year, and he's 6'6", down as a shooting guard. Again, the size does matter, and I think that is why he may have a better chance in the NBA, because of his height compared to Bronny.
I don't know if what makes me say this, but from watching clips of Bryce over the years, it looked like he was playing down in the post. I don't know. I hadn't seen him doing a whole lot of, handling the ball and shooting jumpers, but, and maybe those are just some of the clips that I saw.
Yeah, I didn't see a lot of that either. DJ, I think what's happening, as Richard talked about, is that we have this expectation that they're going to be dominant instead of just being a good player. And they're a good college player. I've seen a lot of those good college players. There's a lot of local guys that were good college players. Doesn't mean they're going to be NBA and held to a standard of LeBron James. So, and look at Michael Jordan. Look at how his kids turned out. But then you turn around, look at Ron Harper's son, Dylan Harper. He's got drafted number 2 overall. Gilbert Arenas' son, Elijah Arenas, is already a 5-star. Carlos Boozer's sons are both 2 of the top 5 kids in this year's class. So it's not always about superstar. I think a lot of it has to do with just genes and everything else that goes into it.
Guys, we have a few minutes left in the show, and I want to take some time to hear each one of your responses as to, of course, our guest that we had on. Of course, we had, just a tremendous guest, and I'm glad to have him back as a contributor. He had to take a leave of absence of sort. The Disney company had cutbacks going, so they kind of unplugged the mic on what Scott Williams, who is the director of digital multimedia sales, He is a good friend and former teammate at the University of Georgia, but he's now the money man for the SEC network, and he goes out and, of course, has all the sponsorships and has a team of people, salespeople that raises all the money for the network. But he was on to eloquently describe the money business in the SEC as far as the network, and again, he gave a nice little speech with regards to why our local businesses, mom and pop corporations, should invest and really support what we're doing here on Sportsvisions. So, but for those who want to see that interview in particularly, where can they find it, Thrill?
Yeah, you can go back on Apple and Spotify, commercial free, Facebook and YouTube. You can listen there and watch on streaming, and of course the Sportsvisions radio app. What an incredible guest lineup, DJ.
Absolutely. And again, if Scott wasn't enough, we had an opportunity to talk about mental health with regards to not just our student athletes, because again, the coaches as well as the parents, that's they got to make sure that they are being truthful to themselves before they go out and, of course, expose their kids. They got to make sure that, they understand their issues, whether or not they have mental health concerns. So, Terrence was able to give us a nice conversation with, both sides of the fence with, the student athletes and or their parents and coaches.
And he was so great at being able to articulate and kind of break it down with us, and really appreciate his interview. It was really good.
Looking forward to having him in the future, because I got a feeling that, again, as he may mention, the new dynamics to that factor is that, this NIL money that's being offered in to the high school kids, and how it's causing confusion in the house where, the money is, more money than the parents have even made, and it's creating that extra layer of anxiety, of distrust. And, dealing with that is, it's going to take, professionals to come in and do what they do to help these kids and these families through this situation.
Exactly right. And that's why again, go back and listen on Facebook, YouTube, like and subscribe there, Apple and Spotify, commercial free, and the radio app.
And of course, what can we say about Brendan Seaver, the director of grounds down at Synovus Park, man? He came on and talked about all the elements, again, from, how do you keep the grass from turning brown in such a, hot, rigid area like here in the Chattahoochee Valley.
Yeah. If this guy, 25 people work for him, man.
Yep.
Got to have an incredible team to be able to be successful and have a ballpark like that. And I think him and his crew, they deserve it. And I hope they win ballpark of the year.
Shine the spotlight on them. Brendan, congratulations with you and your groundskeeping staff. Well, you hear the music. That means it's going to start the weekend. Again, this is a 4th of July weekend celebration. So be safe out there. On behalf of Thrift Behringer, Richard Holdridge, I'm DJ Jones, reminding you to keep your eye on the ball.
I know what you like. I feel it coming.
You've been listening to the Sportsvisions Morning Show with DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer. Brought to you by Global Diagnostic Services and the Finley Firm. This is Sportsvisions 92.1.
I need to give it up.